Dr. Mageshwari Ranjan. You can call me Dr. Magesh. I am from Sunway University Business School from the Department of Marketing, Innovation and Strategy. So the subject that I teach, product innovation, commercialization and development, digital marketing and digital economy. Okay, my background is sustainable development. That's why you can see that I can teach this, Masters for Sustainable Development, and my passion very much into this. Talking about sustainable development, it can be applied in any industry across. Okay, so let's say you're doing on architecture, urban planning, just mentioned it. We can implement the sustainable. A very niche study that I've done is with one of the MSDM student. She wanted to do on bakery industry. Then we sit down, we have a lot of discussion, we come up and do a topic very interesting. I don't think so anybody can even have heard this kind of research has been done or not. Cakes. Everybody, celebrate things with the cakes, right? We come up with how to make a sustainable cake, because cake industry, bakery industry is one of the industry that no one audited. Meaning to say, the chemical they put in the birthday cake, it's very, very powerful and not good. But most of the time, who is eating the cake? Children's. And who is buying for them? Parents. Because that time happened to be, there is few kids who passed away right after they eat their own birthday cake. So problem, and we come up with that research. So we encourage on the sustainable cakes, where we are just, baking the cakes using local, flavors. It's kind of without any chemical. Okay, but it won't look nice, it won't look attractive, but very healthy. And no chemical, it's a chemical free thing. So if you want to implement sustainability, we can go to that kind of industry. That's why I'm very sure, but all depends on what you want to do and what kind of problem that you want to solve. So with that understanding, we are going for an introduction to quantitative, qualitative and mixed method research. I will go more on mixed method research first before I'm going for the quantitative. Is that okay with you all? Okay. Now, and an overview we're going to look at is what is introduction to research methods, what is qualitative research, what is quantitative research, and what is the key difference on both approaches. And we are going to look into the mixed method. Okay. So, this is a reminder, because most of you know about this, but many of us never give importance here. Okay. All the research start with a problem. Okay, without going deeper and deeper into the problem, you won't have an idea, first of all, which methodology you need to choose. Okay, so you can write down notes and all this thing. In chapter 1, you need to write example for 12 to 15 pages. That is the maximum pages that you need to write down. Okay, but 6 to 8 pages will only focus on problem statement. Why? The importance of problem statement. The whole thesis is written because you want to solve the problem that you discover. Okay? That problem statement will give you an idea of your research question. A research question is formed by the research objective. Research objective is formed by the motivation to do the study. Again, it will reflect on your problem statement, problem discovery. I'm motivated to solve this problem, right or not? Yeah. So focus on these part first. Then only we can go to the research methods. So if you don't know, I want to do quantitative, shall I do qualitative? Should I do both? This one, it's okay. Don't worry too much about that. Focus on what is your actual problem, because only actual problem will give you a hint who's the respondent. And you can sit down, think and talk with your supervisor how to approach this particular respondent. So that only will give you an idea what methodology you can choose. Along the way, ethics is very important, because nowadays everybody It's just doing online research. It's very easy to create a Google Doc, send to someone, collect the data, right? But is it ethical? Is that really, really what you want? Are you approaching the right person? We have no idea until we go deeper into the problem solving, right? Then the conclusion, data processing, data collection, sampling, and dissemination. This one I will come later. Okay. Okay. Any question on the problem? No. Okay. Type of research we have: exploratory, causal, descriptive. Actually, nowadays there is a lot more than this: action research, experimental research. But I don't want to go deep because all of you, it's like very new to this, but we can definitely discuss, we can meet in other classes to discuss more about that. So these are the three main things. What it's mean by exploratory, meaning they don't have a skill that has been developed for the study. Okay, so you're coming up with a new idea. Let's say you got about 20 variables, 20 factors that is contributing. Do you know how to group it? You have no idea. All this is the contributing to this DV. Okay, IVDV, independent variable, dependent variable. Don't know. Okay, no worries. Okay, I'll explain it here, Olona. This framework, it will be like this. Example 1, IV1, IV2, IV3. Okay, to your DV. So DV is dependent variable. IV means independent variable. Independent variable, the other names would be independent variable, the other names would be predictors, factors that contributing to the DV. This is the understanding. So you want to know what is the factors that contributing to the DV in quantitative. Through reading the past year research, you will have an idea. But some people, earlier we started with the exploratory, remember? Exploratory, remember? So exploratory, they have no idea. They have no idea, what is contributing factor for that. Okay, so they will have more of this. They might have 20 and they don't know how to group it because there is no past reference that they can take as an example. So that is what we mean explore. We're just going to explore all the variable. So for that, definitely you need to use quantitative and also qualitative, both. It will be more on mixed method study because quantitative will help you to group the variables. Qualitative will help you to get all the variables, whatever factors that involve. Okay, then next, oh no, what is this? Okay, next is causal relationship. Causal relationship is this: what is causing DV? Okay, example. Okay, what is the cause of we are feeling cold right now? Do you? No. Aircon. So aircon temperature is making us feel cold right now. So the cause of the coldness, the temperature in the room, because of the aircon temperature. Got the point? So that is the causal relationship. Okay, next, descriptive. We describe something, how it happens. Okay, what is the current what is happening for past you know 3-4 weeks? It has been almost gonna be a month. What is happening in the world? Iran war. So what is the how we can describe Iran war to our own life right now? How it's impacted your life? Dollar value. So in the currency we got this one. And others? Are you taking Grab? Oil prices. So those who are taking Grab, you can feel the pain, right? Okay, happened to be my car met with accident. So I have no option, I need to take Grab. Okay, within 21 days, my Grab expenses is 1,800 ringgit. I took for myself and my daughters who going to school, tuition, and all this thing. So that is a real pain on me. Okay, so that's how it's affected. Why? Because of the petrol price increase. Okay, so that is, I'm describing the situation. Again, it's a factor, right? Something happened and it's impacted me. So we are connecting to this IV to DV. Any question? Okay. So any question on this slide? Exploratory, causal, and descriptive. At this point of time, these three is enough. There is a lot, somewhere like 20 type of research. I don't want to bring it here. We discuss along the way. Okay. So these are the main three things: causal, exploratory, or descriptive. Any question? No, right? Okay. Now we're looking on exploratory research itself. Okay, those who are in the online class, if you have any question, please stop and ask me. You can unmute yourself. Okay. Okay. Exploratory research means it's explore and tries to understand the issue in order to define and suggest the hypothesis. Okay. I have done exploratory research. This is in Taman Negara. Taman Negara in Pahang, it's a place. It's very much on, like, you're entering into the forest, going for jungle trekking, and it's not a normal, simple jungle trekking, those kind of things. Taman Negara, it's a forest, a real forest. Okay, so happened to be at one point of time, many years ago, about like 12, 13 years ago, it is a reserve forest, very difficult to get permit and go entering in and all those things. But at one point of time, Malaysia government, they want to allow tourists to go there. They come up with a campaign called Lung Campaign. Okay, so if you go to forest, what will happen? You'll breathe the good oxygen, right? So they want to, focus this as in a campaign to a mass tourists from China. So happen to be the number of the tourists who attend to this particular destination. It's a sustainable destination, by right. They throw a lot of rubbish. They created a lot of problems because you're not supposed to litter and take care of the place, because the carbon footprint there must be reduced, must limit. So the whole place got damaged until they need to close down and all this thing. So we go there and started to do some activity. We have no idea what happened before until we found out this is the reason. So what we do, for example, a qualitative method. So we go for both. We can't depend on one person, right, or one entity to give us the information. Okay, it might be biased, right? So we interview the respondent, asking like, very questions like, how you take care of your foods trays and all this thing when you're going there, what you bring. So we want to do check with is this what we found, and what is this one, what is the tourist throw and all these things. So we interview the tourists, we interview the management, we interview the authorities and all this thing. So that is qualitative methodology, which is attempt to unearth the theory from the data. We don't believe the data alone. So you want more information from many parties, you need to approach qualitative. That is on the mixed methodology. Okay, is it qualitative alone enough? No, right? You must also take quantitative. Later we'll see how we can go about this, why I need to do both. So these are the reason you need to do both. Because remember, everything started with the problem, and I have a motivation. I really want to find out what happened, and I want to give a suggestion how we can solve the problem right now. Got the idea? Okay. So that is on exploratory study. Descriptive study, it will describe a phenomenon or a population phenomenon. Something happened in Iran, nothing to do with me. But here in Malaysia, I got affected. Okay. Aims to highlight the issue to increase the knowledge and about the nature. Oh, okay. Even though the war is happening there, it's already impacted me. So I started to have a lot of questions. How long this is going to prolong? As the Malaysia government already announced, and it's happening since 15th April, most of government staff are working from home. This is to reduce the petrol usage, so many things. Okay, because the inflation is going up and up, especially food prices, you can see, because the petrol is like very fragile thing. If it's increased, if the price go down, no one cares. Okay, if the price increase even 1 cent, that will affect in a lot of things in transportation, F&B, FMCG, those kind of things. Okay, so it's aimed to highlight the issue to increase the knowledge about the nature, and it's usually reliant and statistic because it's related with quantitative data. Right, we want to know, oh, if petrol price increase this much, what is the impact? Because I give you data. Did you notice just now? Past 23 days I spent about 1800 just for my grab. It's very huge amount of money. Okay, it's not supposed to be like that. Okay, why? Most of the time the grab charge me double because of the petrol issue. Okay, because I really remember before all this thing happened, it's just 5 ringgit for my daughters to go to their school in the morning. So after that, continuously it's about 12, 15, 17 increase. So can I blame Grab? No, because I know what is happening. I can relate to that. So when I relate, I describe the situation. Okay, so that is on descriptive research. Okay, causal relationship, it attempts to establish a relationship between different aspects. Now you understand what is variables, right? What are the other names for variables? Factors, very good. Predictors, predictors. So what predict this? That's how you can describe certain things, right? So that is the variable of an issue. Okay, so test hypothesis, ideas or theories about what is happening to establish whether there is a relationship. I give you another example here. I think most of us can relate. Malaysian student, right? Okay, before government come up with this implication in 1st January 2026, anybody that throw rubbish will be fined with a heavy fine, 2,000 or 3,000 ringgit, and you need to do social work to clean the place. Before that, what is the attitude and behavior of Malaysians in throwing rubbish? Majority. Pretty bad, right? Everywhere, right? So my daughters will tell, Amma, don't throw the rubbish. Bring it back home. Yesterday, they after a karate championship, they throw all the rubbish inside my car. I need to this one, and then I throw, and then I'm giving them a lecture today. Okay, where you supposed to okay, go and throw back. So the mentality has been changed because we can't throw rubbish outside at the wrong place, and you must this one, because we know anybody can take video and all this thing, and you'll be in this one. It's not about only viral issue, you need to pay for the huge fine. It's about 2,000 to 3,000 ringgit. Okay, so those kind of thing. So it won't happen until Malaysia step up to take that policy, right? But why it took so long to make that decision? I can't see any political here. Just that, taking things for granted. Okay, you're talking about SDG, ESG, and all these things. Simple thing about throwing rubbish. Okay, because very much in the comfort zone, conducive, this kind of thing. So we describe. See, you have an you have an um. What is that answer? I have an answer. So we're describing and describing, talking about that. See where it's relevant, because we want to connect the IV to DV. Is it making sense or not? Okay. If political, why we never follow our neighbor country? What will happen if you throw rubbish? Yeah, Singapore. Heavily fined immediately, because everywhere it's CCTV. Right. So I don't think so it's policy. It's more like monitoring system. Right. Even now, how are they capturing? Right. Still people are throwing rubbish, right? So I saw that day, where were I? I think few weeks ago, I was at Shalam, Kottakamuning. Someone is open burning on Friday morning. Sorry, Saturday morning. Okay, in front of a factory, they're open burning all the pallets, The pallets they use in the factory, there's open burning. And next to me, it's a ESG expert of Malaysia driving the car. Say, what are you going to do about this? And it's his place, describing things. So someone need to take the video, bring it to the authority, and ask them to take action, right? So the monitoring system is not there. But again, in Singapore, everywhere it's CCTV. No one need to monitor. The CCTV will monitor and capture the data and send to the data center, and the action will be taken from there. Yes. Mm, 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 mm. But they have the CCTV, right? Yes, Singapore. The technology is very high. Okay, they can detect because CCTV it's everywhere. This is my understanding. Okay, so system, the system, we are all the while we're talking about the system on the causal relation. So it's helpful for trying to establish an effectiveness of a intervention. Exactly. So we can reduce number of enforcement officers because physically they need to be there, right? But we can increase on the leverage on the technology that available to identify this kind of issue. So we can save on our resources on the manpower. We can use it for more required industry, but here we can just monitor because all this is something detectable, right? Okay, so causal. Do you have any question? Exploratory, um, exploratory. What is that? Descriptive, causal. Any question? No, right? Okay. So quick exercise on exploratory, causal, and descriptive. Okay, we have a post traumatic stress disorder in the context of terrorism and other civil conflict in Northern Ireland. We randomized the control trial. This is from Duffy Michael back in 2008. It's come up in British Medical Journal. Okay. Second, the Belfast Youth Development Study, BYDS, is a prospective cohort study of initiation, persistence, and desistance of substance use from the adolescence of adulthood in Northern Ireland. Can you see how it's interrelated? Can you see can you notice the variables? Which one is the variable here? Terrorism and civil conflict. These are the variables. How about here? Initiation, persistent, and resistance. That these three is the variable. Can you notice that? Okay. Okay. Now, before you go here, before this one, I want to do mixed methodology first. Mixed methodology means you adopt both approach. But let's say I'm interviewing this particular respondent group A, I won't take both of the approach and do on the same group and same time. Okay, you can have different type of group related to the problem and you can implement this. So mixed methodology in a layman term, very simple. You are doing quantitative and qualitative at the same time. But and again, take note, not with the same group, same time. And not the same set of questions. Okay, Loka? Okay, example, in Loka's, this one. You need to interview the companies, right? Companies that involve. You also need to interview the customers or people who working in the company. Would you ask the same question to everybody? Never, right? Would you ask the questions in the same methodology? Company, can you send them questionnaire? No, right? You prefer to sit down, do a one-to-one, discussion, or for yes, and focus group. How are you doing that? Even with the company, can we ask the same question to the management, decision maker management, middle executive managers, and all this thing, and to supervisory level people? No, right? Can you see the difference? So certain people, supervisory level, if we send them questionnaire, what will happen? Online questionnaire, what will happen? Do you think you will get valid data? No, right? They will simply fill up to ensure that, oh, this is a job where my boss asked me to do. Who's the boss? The manager is the boss, right? I just fill it up. You won't get the correct answers. So the best is meet them in a focus group or one-to-one and interview them to see their body language and get the right data. Managers, it's okay. They understand a bit. You can send them questionnaire. But again, for managers, question more on practical question because how they're doing in the ground, strategy, those kind of things. Remember, exploratory, descriptive, and causal. Okay, so you need to fix that question in this one. Decision makers, they know exactly what is happening and all this thing. They might want to hide something, or nowadays they are very open in the strategy. I just past 2 days I was in a conference, first time they're having this conference on Malaysia strata short term accommodation service providers conference. First time they're having this. Nowadays people prefer to stay at Airbnbs, service apartments compared to hotels, okay, due to many reasons. So it has been a business in Malaysia for so many years, but many people don't want to rectify this for some reason. So in this conference we discuss a lot of issues, policies, rules and regulation, so we get a huge understanding about how to go forward about this, because the trend has been changed. Even if you're asking me, I prefer to go and stay in Airbnb. Airbnb is just a brand. There is so many other brands like that. I prefer to go to service apartment compared to hotels because bigger space. I got children. I can cook on my own because I don't prefer to take food outside. I know what I'm cooking. I can this one. So that kind of feeling for an holiday, it's way better compared to going to a hotel because the facilities is limit in hotels. Okay, this kind of thing. So that is the approach. So now, if I want to interview the host and the visitors, can I ask the same question? Can I use the same methodology? With the host, I can go with the qualitative questions. With the respondent, we don't know where are them and all this thing, better go with the online survey question, which is quantitative. Got the point? Okay. Oh, for the students. Okay, yeah, okay. Now, let's see example of question to go deeper into getting which one is which, okay? So now in a quantitative, what kind of question that you can ask is, what is the proportion of NI population earns below of 12,000 pounds? In Malaysia, we have a category of B40, M20, and T20. We group the income that they receive with a group. So we know, oh, you're from which group? M20. You're from which group? T20. It's based on the household income. So we group it. So you want to group it them in a variable. You need to know their income, right? The household income. Okay, not the personal income, the household income for them to group. So you need to obviously go with the quantitative because it's a data, right? Can we lie about our income? Lie about the income. We can hide. Can we lie? Okay, I'm in a process, doing my what is that, income tax statement. I can't lie. If I have a home, I'm renting it out, it's income for me. Okay, if I'm doing I'm working with Sunway University, the income statement, pay salary, it's not a lie, it's a data, because there is documented thing, right? Okay, so whenever there is data, you have a question related to data, it will fall on quantitative. As academic achievement declined in the last 10 years for looked after children. First of all, you understand the question? As academic achievement declined in the last 10 years for looked after children. I have a very classic example. My daughters are sitting outside. A working mother, let's say I never bring them with me, they're at home. Can I monitor what they're doing at home? But I'm working with, I cannot do that, right? Logically cannot, right? Okay, then they might definitely lie to me, those kind of things. How I know? And I wouldn't know until I got the exam results. Again, speaking data. If they score good, I know they have studied during my absence. They never score good, I know they never study. They was watching YouTube or doing something else. Never do, right or not? It's data, right? Okay. So achievement of 10 years, this one, meaning to say most of the women it's working. So they got no enough time to look after the kids, where the impact seen on decline of the students' education achievements. Describe, causal. But how we got the data? Through quantitative. We are going deeper and deeper into the study. Kids got no motivation to study because there is no one is coaching them, especially the loved ones. Right? Nothing like mother, right? Because mother would be there not only to coach, to prepare the nutritious food for them. If there is no nutritious food, they tend to take all the sugary items and sleep. Can be a causal, right? Right? Okay. So all this through quantitative questions we can find out. Okay. Third, what is the effectiveness of counseling for depression? Quantitative is good. If you go for more section of counseling, can it reduce your depression? You don't understand research methodology. You should attend more classes or less classes. More. Same. Okay. So the number of the classes that you take, the learning that you got, the input that you got will make you understand more about the problem. According to depression, depression is an issue where you need someone to listen to you. If you feel more lonely, you don't want to share, it will become worse. But you're attending more counseling sections, someone is listening and listening and listening without interrupting, giving you what is supposed to do. But at one point of time, based on all the discussion that we have, why don't you take this approach step by step? So you start to fight the depression with action. Right? So the number speaks. Okay. Okay, qualitative. What are the experience of those living in minimal income households? Okay, what could be the answer? First of all, start with Arif. Just give any answer. If someone is living with minimal income household, what is the problem they might face? Those who have mic, you can use luxury of life. Less quality. Susan, I forgot it. Sorry. Aisha, can pass the microphone, please? Yeah. Didn't get a good quality of food because quality foods more expensive. Okay, very good. Susan, on first.
I think I think the experience is they just whatever they the income they have is just minimum to meet what they want. Yeah, essential things.
Essential thing. So they won't have anything extra. They want to travel, the income is limit. They want to go for a restaurant food or something like, something interesting. They want to try new or trendy things. They don't have this one because everything is just to meet whatever they have. Very good. Next.
Lack of access to things like health, good health, or quality education, things like that.
Okay, health and education, two important factors. They will have very lack. Okay.
I think a lack of access to choice. So the very bare minimum.
What kind of choices?
Obviously, they can't choose the most expensive. They can't choose like the cheapest cars, cheapest food.
Mm.
They have to limit their amount of water usage, stuff like that.
Okay, very good. Electricity use is more unsustainable. Okay, thank you.
Testing.
I think
Yeah.
that microphone is not working. Yeah. Okay.
I think we just said it all. It just that's quality of life in general.
Quality of life in general. See, all of your answer is not seen. Notice that? But somehow we need to go and deeper and deeper and deeper, ask the right quality life. We need to go and deeper and ask. We need to prompt that kind of question. So definitely it's not quantitative. It is qualitative. These answers is enough? No, right? So we want to really see what kind of luxury food that they want. For a celebration, birthday cake is a must. Right or not? Because we feel lonely. Right, because everybody is doing that, no one is there to buy for me a birthday cake. That kind of feeling, it's beyond that. Because Maslow hierarchy theory. Yeah, what is the first need? Water, food, shelter. Right, these are three things. Next only we go for the belongings. Right, so those kind of things. So if income is minimal, we can't achieve so many things. So they stuck in Maslow hierarchy theory on the first level itself. So they will feel lonely because relative, friends, family normally come for celebration and all this thing, which require money. This is a factor. Okay, you want to meet your relative and all this thing, you need to travel, right? Because not everybody is staying at the same home. Okay, most of us in the nucleus family, right? You want to go back to your own home also, you need flight ticket, right or not? So this kind of thing. So we are going into this question very deeper level and prompting the right question without affecting the respondent's feeling, then we'll get the data. Obviously, it falls under qualitative. Okay, and you see, all your answers also not the same. So when we're putting in en vivo and all this thing, we can see a team. So we need to ask the right question. Okay. So what are the perception of looked after children who attend mainstream education? You understand the question? In mainstream education, someone is taking care of the children. Okay, example, my daughters, they are twin daughters, 11 years old. They are in Chinese school. Easy or not easy? Louder?
Not easy.
Not easy. Why not easy?
And even for you, it's even more difficult because you don't understand Chinese. You cannot coach.
I understand. I don't know single alphabet of Chinese. How to teach them? They need my coaching or not. They need my motivation. But let's say they're giving him a form, everything, a language that I don't understand, I don't know how to read, how I can coach them? I myself also don't. It's challenging or not? It's a real challenge. Okay, so now I need to copy, put in a Google Translator and all this thing. And they will be going, they're not speaking Chinese at home. It's pure like, English, Malay once in a while, but we do speak Malay at home because it's a national language. They need to be practiced. And then English, Tamil, my own mother tongue. There is no one to speak Chinese. And there was no one to learn. Okay, sometimes my daughters, like, now they're in standard 5 and they're in standard 2, my neighbor to observe. When they're going for storytelling competition, are they speaking the right pronunciation, those kind of things? Can you see? So tuition, it's requirement here, someone to take care. So when we send to tuition, then only we can see it's not they are not good or not what is that, not intelligent, those kind of thing. But someone need to take care, right? And not the coaching is needed more than that. Okay, so qualitative. So who need to be there to attend? So what kind of solution we can give to this kind of students? Okay, so that's the thing. It's not only for Chinese education, everything, Malay, Tamil, those kind of things. Because in Malaysia, we have three school streams. Okay, because Malay, it will be challenging for those who coming from Chinese and Tamil background. Because they hardly speak Malay at home. They only speak when they go out and meeting the other people, or in the school setting, they need to speak Malay. Right? Okay. Now, the evolving relationship between therapists and their clients during counseling treatment. Can we do quantitative? This is qualitative, but can we do quantitative for this? Can we do quantitative? Number of visit alone enough? Evolving, the time that they span, the amount of trust has been gained, how much things has been improved. So many things that evolve. Then I will say the counseling was successful. The counseling was not successful, right? So I can only come to the conclusion after all this thing, after taking consideration to all this thing. So these are the variables involved in this. So obviously it's need a qualitative approach. Okay, now any question? Okay, with all this explanation, something running back in your mind, I think I'll take this. Take this. Anything? Not yet. Okay. No worries. Okay, let's take a 10 minutes break. Okay, washroom break, water break, and all this thing. I want you to don't sit here to go and walk. Okay. Okay, then we'll be back and we continue. Okay, thank you. Najiba and Mariam, any questions so far? Najiba and Mariam, any question?
No.
No, right? Okay, thank you
Yeah.
so Thank you so much. Okay, so I don't want to talk more on qualitative because that aspect has been covered by Dr. Sally. So mine, it's more on quantitative. So before I go for the in-depth things, discussion on the quantitative, I would like to share with you types of quantitative research. Okay, so this is very interesting and important for you to know because this is your methodology. The methodology means the approach you're taking to attain the data from your respondent. Okay, so quantitative methods, we go with surveys, normally on questionnaire. There are many ways, but mostly people take questionnaire approach. We can also do like test. We want to see what is the IQ level of someone. Can we do a test, IQ test? Can we? It will give a form of data, right? Percentage. So that will determine the IQ level of the person, right? How we determine 2% of scientists in the world? How we determine 2% top 2% scientists in the world? By test, right? By the performance, their contribution, and all this thing. Experiment, okay, randomized controlled study. So these are the way to get, and obviously through existing database, okay, where all the information is stored in some place, and we study the database to get the information. So all this is quantitative method. Opposite to this, for qualitative, we have focus group, we have semi or unstructured interviews, one-to-one and interviews. Semi or unstructured interview means we start very casual. Okay, like, do you mind to tell about yourself? Along the way, we take up the question, or we have few question in between. We have lot of prompting question to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the question to get the real answers, right? Okay, then we have semi and unstructured observation. This is more on ethnographic research. Okay, so I'm observing what is happening in my class, body language, facial expression of the student. Okay, where they need a break, they don't need a break. This is a very simple thing because it's a closed door. But can you imagine you go out there sitting in a cultured, a different country, when you're traveling and all this thing, we look into the people, their dress code, food, the language, so many things, right? So this is what we say observation, or we observe how someone is doing a job in the fieldwork, right? So that is an observation study. So the approach is different for both of this. So survey using questions, they normally relatively affordable, it's easy to administer, and it's also completed within the research can confirm a clarity question, meaning to say we really have lot of time before you send out the question to the respondent. We really sit down, study past year research, we do a lot of interviews, we go and meet the industry expert to validate the questions and all this thing. We go through so many process, and we take a lot of effort, time, and energy to come up with the question. Once clarity is there, hey, these are all the questions, definitely all these questions going to give me the answer for the problem that I want to solve. So we send it out to the respondent, right? It may restricted number of respondent because you're using SPSS, PLS, AMOS to study the data, because it can exclude some of the population, those without the phones, those who can't communicate verbally. I was just checking that my daughters have no phone right just now. So how many of you kids that with phone or without phone? It's more. Who is more? Kids with phone or without phone? With phone more. Those days, no phone. So the trend has been changed. Okay, so we want to see a difference between kids that have phone and don't have phone. But I go out just now, they're watching YouTube because they got device. Okay, if not, they need to take rest, right? Okay, so those kind of things. So we see this, but how we know? Observation. I told you, right? Observation just now, and also data. So only thing, device. There is someone, I watched this video. There is someone's asking, Google, Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google. They ask him in the interview. It's not an interview, more like a forum. How many devices at your home? First, he reluctant want to answer. I don't know whether they can check this video in the internet. He said for him alone, 20 devices. Right? We have laptop, we have phone. Some of us have more than one smartphone. We have tablet, smart TV, more devices, right? But with more devices, we don't know how you're utilizing that, right? Okay. So how we know? Asking the right question, data. So 20, it's telling us something. One also telling us something. How long you use also telling us something. 20 devices, but my phone screening time is 5 hours. Different compared to one device's screening time is 16 hours. Right or not? Got impact on the health, right? So how we know? Through data, quantitative. Okay. Existing database is very interesting. We go with secondary data, relatively cheap, where study can review existing large data sets. Coding has been already taken place, and you can tell something previously not known. This is very relevant. I can quote you two examples from my own experience. I just told you, right? I attended the conference. So all the while, no any academics go there and do the study. We got all the data stored. They say they got 30% of data. Okay, because they have implemented a system. We know who stayed where, when, how long in short accommodation stay. Is that good? Is there a data that we can explore? So this is not primary data. Did I go and collect the data? No. A system has been captured the data. We call this secondary data. But when I'm doing the study of data, this data, it will give me an idea of some other things. It might give me a problem or give me a future direction. Right? Okay. So coding may have already taken place. You are not responsible for issue around data collection. Risk of design flaws. If you code your data wrongly, it definitely give a different answer. So it's not about the knowledge of doing your statistic correctly in SPSS or PLS. It's more on, are you coding it correctly? So here today we will explore as much as that you can learn, because this is not something that we can do even in one day. Okay? Yeah. Any questions over? Najiba and Mariam, any question? Okay. Experiment. I told you, right? Just now causal, exploratory, and descriptive. More than that, we have experimental study. Okay. And experimental is where the researcher intervenes to change something. So it gives some patients a drug and then observe what happens. Okay. Example, a person with a beer to see whether empathy increase or decrease when drunk. Okay, it's a I think worldwide understanding. When people are drunk, they will start to blabber. They will start to asking someone to sit down with them and talk, those kind of things. So I've seen this with my close relative and all this. But I always have this question: what makes them to do this? Okay, so alcohol more than certain allowed amount in a body can affect your hormonal balance. That's what making them to this. Until I become a researcher, understanding about dopamine, serotonin, all these secretions of the hormone, you are putting the hormone from external, this one, into your body. So it's making you want to sleep, but won't let you to sleep. That's what happening to them. They become drunk. You want to sleep, but can't sleep. What do you do? These real time who never take alcohol, they will like, I want to sleep, I want to sleep. They will talk like that, right? But drunken people will talk in a different thing. They want to pour out whatever that, like a depression things, problems and all this thing. So this is how we can know this, through an experiment. By observing people who take alcohol with a limited amount and people who never limit the amount. Then how we can do that? We can need to do experiment, right? So this is what happened. A real person who never sleep because of work or any real issue, like someone maybe passed away in the family, so they're unable to sleep, they will have a different way of blabbering also, right? They want to sleep but they can't sleep because they're going through grief. So that will be a different thing compared to people who are taking alcohol, because they're putting out some substances, external one. okay, where disturb their hormonal imbalance. Okay. Okay, quantitative data influence everyday life in and that decision. So knowing your quantitative data that helps you to make a decision and stop to mislead. Okay, since I've give you the background of the quantitative, okay, the next thing we are going to look into what is quantitative analysis, what is the general steps in problem solving and decision making. That will give you guidance. If the problem is keep on going and going, where should I stop? Okay, then quantitative versus qualitative analysis and analysis approach and this material possible problems that quantitative analysis of the approach. So all of us are surrounded by numbers, right? Everywhere we see numbers. Example, net profit of pounds 1.2 million in the financial year. Is it a number? Is it a good number or bad number? No, this profit of 1.2 million. Mm. Mm. Yes. Mm.
So if the last year's profit is, for example, 5 million, now it's 1.2. Though it's a profit, but it's a declining profit. So it's a
Smart answer. Okay. So don't look into the current data. You must be able to do the comparison. Then only see we can growing or declining. So that is the perspective of the data. Okay, next we sold 1456 unit last month. So this the boss will ask you to do what right now?
again, it will depend. He will ask what is the current one and what was the target for
Last month. This is last month, 1456. So for this month, the boss will set more or lesser? More, right? So they will have 5%, 10%, 30%. They want more sales. Okay, because they will study the market, right? Okay. Productivity was up 5% last year.
So what was the target?
What was the target? So we want to do the comparison. Are we on track and all this thing? Are we, let's say the company have a 5-year plan. Are we on this one to achieve that mission? We employ 126 people. Same time, few days back, I saw in KL retrenchment rate is 5,026. March. We're in April right now. Okay.
So again, it will depend, for example, whether we have replaced 126 or we have created new job 100.
New jobs. Okay. So we want to see, and where are them? Who are them? What is the salary range? Okay. Is it a permanent position? Is it like temporary or gig economic positions? Okay. So we see this. Okay. The project gives an 8% return of investment, the ROI.
In what's the NPV and
What do you want to
the
achieve?
ROI exactly the mark or not?
Break even? How you want to achieve that ROI? When you want to achieve the ROI? Okay. So all this we are surrounded by numbers. Okay. Okay. So quantitative data, we will have raw data, we will implement quantitative analysis and we will get a meaningful information. That's what we see. ROI, perspective, previously what is that, where are we right now, are we growing and all this thing. So if something is happening not in the direction, we need to take some strategy to do. That is the helpful things of data. So quantitative analysis, the definition is a scientific approach to managerial decision making in which raw data are processed, manipulated to produce meaningful information. Manipulated here doesn't mean negative. If you are a founder of a company, you want to make all your people to grow with you or don't want to grow with you? Grow with you, right? So somehow you need to manipulate certain strategy to get them to develop their skills, because their skill development will not only make your company to grow, but overall everybody to grow, right or not? These kind of manipulation we are talking about here. Okay. So now, any question on raw data, quantitative analysis, and meaningful information? You got this idea, right? That's why we're having this. Okay. Now, in problem solving or decision making process, we need to go through certain process. Question that Arif asked, where do I need to stop? Okay. Now, you identify a problem within an organization, within the industry that you're working on. So how you go about that? There is a problem. That one you already know because you are in the industry, like yourself, right? You're in the industry. You know this problem has been there. How long you do you know? But you know already the problem is there. 2 years, 3 years, depends on your working. You the moment you enter into the industry, you wouldn't know. It will take some time to know that hey, this problem is exist. I know my problem. One of my problem when my students are in the online class, I don't know whether they are listening to me or not because their camera is not on. So I always ask them, please switch on your camera. But some don't feel comfortable. Some really have problem with connectivity issue where I also sometimes find. But I always ask, are you guys there? Any question? Any question? So the feedback will tell me. So this is my problem solving. So the more time I'm asking, Najiba, Mariam, are you there? Any question? No feedback, telling me something. Got feedback, also telling me something. So identify the problem. Simple methodology, but have a strategy to approach. So you must know the problem crystal clear, not on the surface level. The problem must be crystal clear. That is why we started problem statement. And problem statement means the problem is crystal clear for you. So you identify the problem. How you identify the problem? Using two methodologies. You can take quantitative analysis, you can take qualitative analysis. Remember earlier I was saying secondary data, news article, report, industry, Deloitte, McKinsey, and all these things. They have marketing analysis and all these things. Go and explore that first. So you won't go into the rabbit holes. You will know exactly this is the problem. This is what I want to solve. You stop there. Stop there. Okay. From there, you already done this part, right? So now this part got a lot of ways you can do. Most of the time, most of your seniors or your previous lecturer would say, go for past year research. Right or not? Right or not? Right or not? Do you feel happy doing that? Sincere answer. Do you feel happy doing that? You won't even doing that because you don't know the right methodology of how to do that, right? Actually, it's not a good approach. Because first of all, you guys very much I don't know what to do. And I'm asking you, okay, go and read past research, go and read past research. You feel like, if I read, I don't understand why I need to read this. You don't have an objective even to read that first. So don't do that. Do something that you're comfortable doing that. Do you love to talk? Love to discuss? Love to start a conversation? Why don't you bring that problem, go and talk to the industrial person? Because they are the person who really facing the problem, right? Anybody's WhatsApp call is on? I think it's my phone. Wait down. What you do? You take the problem. You see that this is a problem. You go to the industrial expert, get an appointment with them. You guys are master student. Okay, definitely I plan to do a research on this. People nowadays, especially the industry, the business people, they're very open. I attended the conference, right? They all are booking appointments with me next week. Dr. Magis want to meet you. We want to discuss this with you. We want to do collaboration. If I tell them, hey, I have a student like this, they want to meet you, they'll be very open. Okay, so many people, they want to find a solution through a discussion. Go and discuss this with the industry. People see what kind of the real problem they are facing to identify this issue, and then check with them, is this a problem that you are facing? That all validating your questions, validating your problem, right? Start with that. So what current approach you're doing, what your competitor is doing. You can ask this question, nothing harm, right? Because we are academia, we don't bias anybody, right or not? We want to provide the solution that can help everybody, right? So you can start like this. Is this now compared to reading past year research? This is easy or not? Easy, right? Okay, now You no need to meet them in person. You got Zoom. You can meet them online, taking appointment through email, phone calls, WhatsApp, those kind of things. So very easy. They'll be very open. Some might be like feeling not safe and all this thing. You can write in a letter if they need some official things, and they'll be open, and you can record this. Now, this is considered interview. This is the interview I'm talking about, qualitative. Okay, now it's confirmed as a problem. You can go deeper into that and interview another one more to consumers from that particular problem. Hey, I understand that this is something is happening. Are you facing the same thing? Right or not? Okay, so that will give you an idea. Now only you go and read the news article. Don't straight away jump into the past questions again. You confirm, is it a recently happening thing? Is it like you got some data? So any ministerial statement, any like key information, people giving this statement in any conferences, any meetings, any submit, those kind of thing, people addressing this issue. Yeah, it's happening. Okay, now you got some data already. So news articles, marketing report, and all this thing will give you a highlight. Is it keep on happening in certain continent, certain country, or certain strategic, this one, or in your own country, then you know. Okay, on certain states, those kind of things. So you gather all the data, then only you go to pass your research to validate again. Previously, someone have done research on this. Then only you'll understand the flow, right or not? Straight away reading the past year research, it's can, but very, very difficult, and it's old school methodology. Okay, it's not trendy because nowadays you can get information through AI, but I don't encourage that for two reasons. Number one, whatever data you're getting from AI, it's 2 years outdated. You want to do research updated, right? Why you're taking 2 years outdated? Make sense? Number two, AI knows not knowing anything about problem statement. You agree with me? If you don't agree, you try 10 times. Okay, don't 5 times enough. Ask the same question to AI. AI won't be consistent with the answer. But you ask the same question to an industry expert or to an academia, they'll be consistent with the answers. Because AI got no emotion. Right or not? So don't start your research with AI, please. Okay, because your mind will be thinking this is the answer. Okay, but actually it's not. First, it's outdated. Second, it won't be consistent. And every time you cannot change your framework, right? You fix your framework, you work on that. So don't depend on. After that, you want to do a little bit of AI and all this thing, Kerala. Okay, not in the starting stage. Please don't start your research with AI. It's a wrong methodology. And you cannot ask me, so what is the right way? I already told you. Start with an industrial expert discussion, academia, those kind of things. Sit down with your own supervisor first. Sit down with other lecturers that involve in the interdisciplinary to understand the problem more, this one, and talk with the consumers. Right. Do this thing, collect your data and see, hey, yeah, it's relevant, it's making sense. Then only go deeper into that. Okay. So don't start with AI. Okay. Any question here in these two approach now? No, right? So do you agree with me now? These two approach, if you're connecting back to identify the problem, it will give you more crystal clear problem. Okay. Then only sit down and start to write your problem statement. Research question, research objective. Okay. Then you evaluate the assessment. Remember, the last stage would be doing the past year research. And then you can form your research, conceptual research framework. Evaluation and assessment, because this is the pre-thing. Okay. Pre-thing. Second, when you're going after the research study, you take 25, master's level 20 article is enough. Normally, I will start with this. Don't read the article. Don't read the article. Create a literature matrix table Excel. All this not in my notes, I'm telling you, so you need to write down. Okay, create a literature matrix, put a number of the paper first. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the Excel. Okay, second, copy and paste the title of the paper on the first column, name of the paper. Second column, author. Third column, year. Fourth column, which country. Fifth column, what are the variables involved in this study? all the variables we call latent variable. Okay, then IVDV you want to put there. So, what is the research question? What do you want to find out in this research actually? How they started this research? What is the hypothesis? What is the objective? Then what methodology they took? They took qualitative or they took quantitative, or they take both. If they take both, how many respondents involved? How they conduct the study? Because all this is a copy and paste answer, right? Most of the answer is already in your abstract. They're required to read. Just glance through, copy and paste, copy and paste. Difficult? No. Sit in a library in an environment of university setting, because here easy to explore the database. If you go back home, it's little difficult because you have limitation, right? Okay, just copy and paste and copy. Difficult to do for 20 articles. Theory that has been used in the article. Okay, what is the major findings? What is the major findings? Okay, what is the limitation of the study? The limitation of the study will give you a direction. Is that a gap or not? That's how you're supposed to do your past year research. Don't read the paper. Paper number 4, you'll start to scold your supervisors, start to scold your lecturers, right or not? Because you're not doing that happily. Now, after do 20 paper, without I'm telling you, you'll go and do extra 10. Because you can see, hey, I cannot see the direction where I want to focus. Then you'll narrow down on the right articles. The right articles always comes from Elsevier, Scopus 1 and above. Okay, Elsevier, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, Amaral. Choose quality journals and do this. If you're going for unquality journals, again, you will be in depression. Okay, choose the right ones, keep on doing that, because they already have a flow structure, right? So you know where is the data and all this thing. So when you keep on doing this without reading, the moment you're seeing, you know already everything in one document. Now you know where to focus. Scaffold to 5 articles that very close to your heart. Now that is the research that you want to do. With this, approach your supervisor. Again, quantitative and qualitative involve here. 3. Okay. Then you form your research, conceptual research. You approach your supervisor will give direction because they are expert in that. So they'll say, okay, this is this. My way, it's very different. I will scaffold them very, very quick in getting the skeleton right. Then only I'll get my student to write. I will scaffold them how to write properly, correctly. Okay, in the academic write-up. Okay, so my student, even they want to go to AI, they won't do that because they know they will ended up in disaster later. Because AI, when you're writing, it won't give you a flow. Right or not? Because I told you the problem, there is no consistency. It's not assignment. Thesis is not an assignment. If assignment you want to do AI, possible. Thesis, every chapter must be interconnected. Every subtopic within the chapter must be interconnected. How to tell the story, how AI know the story. AI might give you a summary of all these variable has been tested before. These are the findings. Again, accuracy of it, we need to go and recheck. But it won't give you the flow. The writing flow, you won't get it until you sit down and you started to write. Right? Because your own thesis. Right? In between of the process of the writing, you can approach AI's help. And now, because the direction, you set the flow of the thesis work. And that one is possible. Okay? So, this is how you make an addition and you implement. Okay, so here it will be repeated for 2 times before you use the past research and after you use the past research. Then you confirm the framework. Once framework is confirmed, don't change your mind. If you change your mind, you're wasting effort, energy, and time. Meaning to say, you fix this my IV, this my DV. Along the way, you fix also your mediator or moderator involved. This one you discuss with your supervisor. Do you need that? Fix the conceptual research, don't change your mind after that. Because after that, you're supposed to go to the question items, especially when you're in a quantitative, selecting your items, confirming and all this thing. That is another process. Okay, where I need to scaffold you on that, how to do this one. Okay, so you do that and then you go and do your data collection. Okay, you write your chapter 1, literature review, and chapter 3 is the research methodology. Right? So you will won't wasting time. You will do it on time, correctly, in the right path. Okay? So that is very important. Any question? Can you connect to me? Are you following me? Can you in the back of your mind thinking how I'm helping you to save your time? Okay, don't keep on changing your variables and all this thing because they're not going to solve the problem. Meaning to say you have done it wrongly on the first stage. Why? Because you go and do the approach of passive research. After reading article number 38, I don't want that. I want this. Meaning you didn't do the work properly. So first 20 articles for you to explore, it's very, very important. And many people, they will do that, but they won't document that. That's why you must document that in the literature metrics. Summary table. I call that summary table. For my student, I have this term. They must do that first. Then they know what they are speaking. Then they know what kind of feedback I can give. Without that, I can't discuss with them. Without that, they also don't have a direction, what they want to do. Got the point? Okay, and I think it's like very good. If you can do this, it saves a lot of supervisors' time. They'll be more than happy to help you now. Okay, so identify the problem, analyze the problem, make decision. So stages repeated often as needed to get accepted result. Here, your accepted result is your framework. The early stage, spend time on this. When is the early stage? Right now, my dears. Right now. Don't tell me to download a paper related. I don't know what is in your mind, in your heart. I have no idea until we really sit down for a coffee, we discuss and all this thing. Then I know, then I can give you a idea and direction only. But I can't sit down and do the work for you. Right? Only you need to do. So download few papers and see what kind of research that you really want to do. Okay, you want that kind of thing, you need to sit down for a coffee with me. Okay, then you confirm your framework, then implement the decision. Then actual performance will start to take place where you started to write chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 and all this thing. Then data collection is happening. During data collection, you can make improvement collection because you can see your supervisor and all this thing. Then I will tell you how to write actual chapter 1 like this, actual chapter 2, this is the format, actual chapter 3 like this. And you will be happily doing data analysis in chapter 4 and you won't have funny results. Right? Because the whole process of chapter 1, 2 and 3 has been done correctly. Tendency for you to face a unwanted result won't be there. You really focusing to solve the problem. Then chapter 4 and chapter 5, it's your own contribution. Right? You'll be doing the analysis, and chapter 5, you're reporting about that. Sorry, chapter 4 is reporting, chapter 5 is on discussion. So it will be a happy journey. Right? Okay. Now, again, quantitative versus qualitative, you can see any analysis that use numbers is quantitative. Data, right? Okay. Analysis that do not use numbers but are based on judgment, opinions are qualitative. Observation, this kind of thing. So, which one require more time? Anybody? Wendy? Locke? Any? Where it will require more time? Okay. Okay. Which one you feel like this is not my cup of tea? Qualitative. Quantitative. Depends. Quantitative, sometime example, this not my experience, my friend's experience. She wanted to do a study on how pharmaceutical industry have done their security and this one during the supply chain. Her studies about supply chain. She particularly wanted to study on pharmaceutical industry, on their supply chain, SOP, those kind of things. She find some issue there. So her challenge was only 69 companies throughout Malaysia. She have done everything accurately. not enough number, 69. Real problem, you know. Everything was done. She's from UPM. In UPM, first 2 years, you cannot do anything about your research. You need to clear papers and all this thing. Get your research proposal accurate. Then only you can move to the next stage. But her issue, she only got 69 companies. Even PLS require 19 samples. Not enough, right? So she took both mixed methodology, the 69 companies, she bring it in, but she break it, the 69 into two categories. One is management, after a long discussion, management and middle management decision, how they're looking at it. And she interviewed the lorry drivers as well in the quantitative to see how they are executing the SOP that they're getting from the management. So along the way, she can see how actual SOP is happening on the ground as well through this one. So that's how she ended up in mixed methodology. You see, we can't know which one is this one by just saying quantitative and qualitative. It's the requirement of what is the problem that you want to solve and what kind of approach you need to take. We have no idea. You might say right now, I want to do quantitative. Please don't fix your mind like that. You might need qualitative. Some of you, I want to do qualitative, easy to interview people only. Then I use NVivo and this one. No. You might need quantitative because the data might not be enough. Or your prompting question might be not there to get then you cannot go back to them and interview again. So it's like you're going to a war. Get all your equipments, instruments, everything ready and correct. Then you go to the war with full preparation. Same, your surveys, your instrument will be a helpful tool for you to get all the data that you wanted. And not every time everyone will do it perfectly. That is the learning journey, right? So that is very important. So you don't have judgment on which one is easy or which one is difficult. No such thing. Both equals pro and cons. Okay. So now, when you're going for quantitative factors, you see the difference investment alternative, interest rate, inventory level, demand, labor cost. In qualitative, we look into more like state and federal legislation, technology breakthroughs, social and political intensive, personal relationship. I'm doing study on dark side of AI. More on technology, right? So I need to collect photos and show to people, get their opinion and collect this one. So more on qualitative. But again, I need a number. So it's a mixed methodology actually. Okay. So advantages of quantitative analysis. It's a mathematical tool that's been used for 1,000 years. We started with SPSS. But now with smart PLS, the latest thing, I think I attended this training 2 weeks ago. Every year I update myself. Because whatever that I learned when I'm submitting my PhD compared to now, it's very, very much different. So if when I'm teaching research methodology, I never update my knowledge, I might be giving you outdated information because technology is vast right now. And so many things has been improved. Even in PLS, we always go for Cronbach alpha value, right? So I learned there is something new called McDonald's value to replace this one. So you need to click certain button, you can go deeper into that. And so far, like very much this one. Why it's important? Because in chapter 5, you need to report 3 things. When any student coming to me, you are looking at your current research. As a supervisor, I'll be looking at something else. I want to see what the student can report in theoretical contribution, methodology contribution, and practical contribution. Okay? You can't see this because you are a student. Supervisors need to see this because later you'll be lacking in this because this is about something niche, novelty, right? So what new things are you doing here? What new things? And how I can suggest to you, hey, please explore this. So if I never go and develop my own knowledge, how I can assist you? Right or not? So that is on methodology. Hey, okay, I see this is the gap. I can let my student know, hey, try to use this in your research. Let's say those who are doing for quantitative and using PLS, okay? So, for even 1,000 years, there is so many new things. So methodological contribution is very important. Numbers give precise, objective view. Okay, so with the data, what is it really telling you? Data won't lie. Your methodology that you did in chapter 2, your formation of your causal relationship might be wrong. Okay, you might have missed out some important variable, those kind of thing. Okay, so quantitative analysis can be applied in a wide variety of problems. Successful use of quantitative technique usually result in a solution that is timely, accurate, flexible, economical, reliable, easy to understand. I tell you my own experience. I did my PhD in environmental quality from the point of view of European tourists that visit Malaysia. I collected the data in 2016 November 2016 to January 2017. November, December, January, 3 months I collect my data from European tourists that visit Malaysia. Right. So where I can meet these European tourists? In the hotel. Can I simply walk into the hotel and disturb the privacy of them? Ethically not correct. So where I can meet them? They need to answer. Those days, we don't have Google Doc, all this thing. We need to print the question, give to them to answer. Face to face. Restaurant, is it appropriate, ethical? No. Tourist places is appropriate. Okay, very good. Other than that, but again, in tourist places, they'll be like walking mode. You know, European tourists, backpack, they just walk. So it's like, I need to stop them and all. Okay, tourist places, okay. Good answer. Samu? Airport. Thank you so much. I choose airport because I have an exact data. These are the airports. Most of the states have airports. So I fixed the airports ready. Certain states don't have airports. I said, I will go for the tourist spot. Here, no, I'm ethical. I'm not disturbing anyone's business. And between me and the tourists, are you willing to spend 20 minutes of your time answering my questionnaire? And I'm giving you a token of appreciation. They answer literally, they answer my question like answering an exam question. European tourists. Okay, I'm there. If you don't understand, only ask me the question. Ethical. I won't help them in the answers because I want the data. And I collected 482. I decided 560 because I collected this data throughout Malaysia. That took me 3 months' time. Where I go to the airport, stay there, and then get the data. I'm not biased. I never take everything from KL. I go to each of the state. I took 35. I just bring 35 questionnaire with me because I need 30 to be don't bias because we got 14 states and 3 territories in Malaysia. So everywhere I went there. Time, money, right? Okay, now to travel, I need money, right? Okay, that time my sister was Malaysia Airlines cabin crew. So I got a discount rate for Malaysia Airlines, 70%. I utilized that. If I don't have that, I won't take, or I need a grant to do the study. Or I will appoint a research assistant there. I'll train them. This is how you need to do, and then send back the data to me. Because that time we never do online, and we cannot do online survey, right? Because it's a tourist, we want their experience at that moment. Again, to be ethical. You see how much of thought process that I put before I decide this thing. So for you to have a data that you really know this is accurate data, the thought process behind that works more this one. It's not about simply sending the questionnaire like that. I'm not saying I'm not against online or whatever. Online is very efficient, very cost saving and all this thing. And you can easily track the time. Even my time, those days, we need to sit down and key in the data. Now you no need to do that because of the Google's form help. Thank you to Google, right? Okay, so my time, we need to sit down and key in the data. Okay, so this is applied variety of the problem where you can foresee. This one you need to think. Do you think AI can help you in this? That's why don't use AI. Okay, so successful use of quantitative technique usually result in a solution that is timely, accurate, flexible, economical, reliable, and easy to understand and use. Whatever that, am I showing you anything? But you understand, right, the process, because you understand how to implement the data. Sorry, the data collection. You can't come to that stage if you never sit down and think. You can discuss with your supervisor because they have faced the problem many times. So they can tell you, if you do this, you will face this kind of problem. And you don't argue with them. Okay, please. Okay, because they're telling you the problem ahead. So think about that. Okay, you can say nice answer. I mean, think about this. Then you go and sit, because immediately this human mind, you want to defend. You want to defend because you already fixed something. That's why I say don't fix anything. Go with the flow, because this is your learning journey. Okay, so decision based on quantitative data can be automated. I'm a quantitative person. Very recent time in my years, past 3-4 years, I've explored in qualitative. But if you're asking me, I love qualitative because the depth of the data that I'm getting. Quantitative is less time. I can fix the questionnaire. I can cross check everything, send it out. But now I use mixed methodology because I know to go for publication, especially, and to really, really know, my research is making an impact. I need mixed methodology. I can't depend on one source of respondents, this one. And I've done this back in my PhD, when even my supervisor warned me, just go with quantitative because he is a quantitative person. I listen to him, same time I'm exploring qualitative. Because I know qualitative will help me to give the direction of the trend in future. Okay? So most management decision use some quantitative analysis, mostly because they want to see the data. But to really understand the process, you need to go to qualitative. I can't tell to you, do this, do that, without understanding your problem. Any questions so far? What's it? Okay. Can we take like 5 minutes break before continuing? Yeah. Thank you. 10 minutes. 10 minutes break. Yeah. Now I want to give for lunch break. But before we, dismiss for lunch break, any question?
So, what I have so far understood that mixed method would be the appropriate one, combining both the methods for any year, the future year.
At this point of time, definitely I say yes. Through my experience, learning, and all this thing, where I told you my experience, I started with quantitative, but mixed method will give you more understanding, and you will be enjoying right chapter 5. You can do a comparison with your own results. Okay, quantitative saying this, qualitative saying this. Now I can see why the answer is that. If we got a time, I'll just share chapter 5. So, you'll be landing on that. Okay. So, you must have content to write. And you can't simply doing something. Okay. Because all your findings is reflecting something. You must write about that. Okay. Yeah, very good, Arif. Yeah. What is your this one? So far, all good. You understand? All good. Yeah. Can you use the microphone, please, Aisha? So, which one you think would most suits you or suits your study?
I guess mix.
The mixed method. Okay. Susan?
Yeah, I'll think mixed method as well, because initially I wanted to go full quantity.
Mm.
But take your point when you mentioned about think about what the competitor is doing. So for
Mm.
my the project or the thesis that I wanted to do, I'm quite focused on what my company is doing. I do
Mm.
not know what that is doing. Perhaps that is the quality part that
Yeah, quali part is most of us will be this one, because we won't get the answer until we sit down with the person and talk. You wouldn't know about me when I come in the class first time and all this thing, but just give me introduction until you learn, hey, what she have done, what she knows, right or not? Yeah. So that's the thing. So until you sit down with the person who is going through the problem, who is part of the problem, who is part of the solution of the problem, you wouldn't have know. So time, effort, energy. And if you plan well, we can do that because we have Zoom, don't worry. Right or not? Wherever the person are, how busy are them, they can allocate 45 minutes for you for a Zoom interview, right? And if you miss some question, can you catch up? Yes, right. Not like those days where you need to go to airport, see them in person and collect the data. Certain study require that because in my case as a tourist. And I don't know who are them. Right? My population is, I really don't know until I go and meet them because I need to confirm they come here, right? So that is required. So depends. Okay. How about yourself,
Um,
Wendy?
from the session that we've had so far, I'm slowly moving towards using mixed methods because I believe it's going to help me explore different perspectives in relation to, let's say, what's existing between whatever I'll be choosing for my research. And I feel like at the end of the research, I'll be able to get better data because I'll be able to compare, between quantitative and qualitative analysis. So mixed methods would be a good start.
Okay, all good except comparing qualitative and qualitative. We are not comparing the methodology. We are going to compare the data that we got. And that will give us the understanding, more deeper conversation that can happen, more deeper communication or discussion can happen. Why these people are saying this, why these people are saying this, where we can see the solution for the problem that we promised in chapter 1. Right? Yeah, thank you. So the methodology, even quantitative or qualitative, is just a tool. Yeah.
I think for me especially, probably mixed methodology with sort of topic that I chose. That's because it's new based, like why some policies fail and why some policies don't fail. So mixed because I get the opinions of the local population, right? And that would inform my sort of study, right? But I then use quantitative to get the actual numbers and to see whether like that policy failed realistically or not, whether the opinions that people gave are accurate or inaccurate.
Yeah. Sorry, I think we didn't introduce yourself, right? Yeah, your name, please.
Adam,
Adam, your background?
I did my degree in IR.
Uh-huh. Okay. What study plan that you have anything in mind? What do you want to do? Research or very new? Are you a very new student? What is the stage, progress that you're making for your thesis?
Oh, I mean, this is
Mm.
very new.
Very new, right? Okay, so you got the engineering background. So I think data speaks more and more on project management, flows.
Yeah, because I was doing side job at Kazana Research, so I have a bit more
Mm.
research background.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Doc.
Yeah, so I was thinking to for my research for this research master, I was thinking to apply more qualitative data. I think the best approach for me would be qualitative and quantitative, so a mixed method, but on the quantitative side, just to get data about, for example, energy usage or like actually data instead of, for example, surveys or opinion of people. But I feel like it would be very challenging to get both the data, and for that short time, I think I cannot do a mixed method in my case. So I think I'll just go through the qualitative views.
Thank you very much for being very sincere about the timing and this one. This is something that really need to look into. I will answer that question after the lunch. So, when you're going for lunch, please think on this one question. If most of you agree on mixed method, Locke is partially because he can foresee the problem. You must foresee some problem because then only you attract, hey, I want to do this, I would want to do this because you know what kind of problem because you have limitation in time, money and energy and effort, you see. So you must do this very very important. So if that is the case, you think like a mixed method more suitable for me. I want you to have an estimation of number who you want to interview for quantitative, what is the number roughly, qualitative who and what is the number. You think about that, come back to lunch, come back from lunch, we'll discuss about this. So we'll resume back at 1 hour from now. Okay? 1 hour, right, Prof? You? 1 hour lunch, right? Yeah, 1 hour. What did your thesis? Not yet. Research methods. Okay. Regards your work, what kind of job and do you mind to explain a little bit about this one?
Doing corporate sustainability and construction.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mostly do
Reporting, huh? Oh, very interesting. Okay. We can collaborate. Okay, I tell you why. Okay, one of my reasons. Okay, now the problem here, what I noticed with the student, it's not about doing the job, but from the start, you have done the job not following the right process. Did you really define the problem? No. You just surfacely define the problem. So when you want to collect data, you're going deeper to get the answers right. Now, maybe, I'm not sure, your scale is like very big, the problem that you want to solve. So the time is not enough. You never put your variables accordingly. The scope of the study was bigger. You never fix your scope. That is in your chapter 1. You never really thought about significance of your study. What kind of impact your study is going to give to the academia, to the society, to the stakeholder, what kind of CSR projects that impacts it, and what kind of practical significance it's going to give. So never really thought about that. You just simply write. So that gives you a problem right now because in chapter 4 and 5, you don't know like, hey, I promise a lot, but I can't finish this. Because my timeline is like another 3 weeks, I must submit the thesis. So you won't answering those questions. So defining the problem in chapter 1, get your scope crystal clear. No one asked you to do a bigger scope. You set it. I just want to do my study in Klang Valley. Anybody going to stop you? No, right? This, you are the researcher. You fix it. What is convenient for you? Time, effort, energy, and money. Okay, you fix it. And through that study, what significance you want to give? Anything wrong by having a smaller scope and smaller significance? Nothing wrong. So you don't be so ambitious in your problem. Define it. So when you define it, it must be the most important and difficult step, but it's most important. You do this wrongly, you'll definitely stuck in chapter 4. You see, your question got 60. Do you really need 60 question items? Not required for masters. Okay, sometimes this is what make the student become so hectic, then complaints and all this thing, because no one asked you to do actually. Okay, maybe you never do the finding the problem accurately. So go beyond the symptoms and identify the true causes. That's why problem statement is very important. So now you know the problem ready, you go deeper and deeper into the problem. What is the cause of the problem? Then only your IV would be more clearer, right? Right or not? Then only you know the factor IV which is causing the problem to the DV, it's this. Will be very exact. Right or not? So fix your IV. Okay, so you must be very concentrate on only few of the problems, selecting the right problem, and very important. Now my question to you, having 3 research question, anything wrong with that? No, right? By why you always want to be very ambitious, 5 6 research question? You know what how I tell to my student when I saw 5 6 research question? You come up with this question, right, in chapter 1. In chapter 5 you must answer all this question. Per research question require minimum 1 page of answer. Are you ready to write down the answer on your own? Minimum. Masters. Are you ready? You got 6 research questions. Second question, you need to go deeper to give the answer because you spend all your time, effort, and energy to do the thesis, right? So your answer must be very deep, right or not? We don't AI kind of answer, right or not? True or not? Cannot answer. And your answer must reflect your finding, quoting back your own finding. So having 3 research questions, now you answer very deep, will give you more marks compared to having 6 research questions, but the answer is very surface. And you're connecting back what you promised to chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. You see, the problem starts at where? Problem. Defining your problem. Okay? Then you be specific and measure the objective you may have to develop. 3 research question, how many objective you will have, class? 3. Okay? So don't be so ambitious. Some student will have problem even connecting this. I have seen thesis submitted, 3 research question, 4 objective. Okay, I don't know how one is missing. Obviously, everything would be wrong already, right? So I pity the student. Okay, so it's not about quantitative or qualitative. It's getting this one correct. Okay. Okay. What do we mean model here? Okay, research model. Research model always start with conceptual model. Okay, a student want to score A, 4 flat in the CGPA. What is the IV? The DV, 4 flat, Dean list student. What could be the IV? Contributing factor. You really don't know. More hours. More hours will contribute to more 4 flat CGP. Okay. Logic answer, predictors, factor. Explore, just explore. Don't fix. Full attendance, very good. Good time management. Okay, you might be working, you might do this one, but still be successful because you manage your time. Discipline in managing the time, very good. 3 factors ready. Factor number 4. Critical thinking. You don't just read. I was telling you, right? What are the Scopus journals that you need to read for the 20 articles? Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Emerald, Wiley. You don't read everything. Why are you wasting time on reading on the wrong? Okay, so critical thinking. Okay, very important. 4 factors. Some more? Logical answer. You want 4 flat. Don't tell me you never think about this. What a student supposed to do to get a 4 flat? Or what past student who got 4 flat have done?
Can also revisit like the lecture, the previous recordings and the notes after the lecture. That would be good.
So revisions works. Okay, you might be online and all this thing, but now you got the technology. You can revisit the lecture and all this thing at your own space. Okay, so time management, your more study, what you're doing, do more study. So you can do this activity that reflects, right? Interconnected. So that is variable. This is dimension. Activity you're supposed to do. More hours. We don't know, right? What's supposed to do more hours? I can sit down there just pondering how to get 4 hours, 4 flat. But I can do the activity. Activity speak louder, right? So can you see that is the variable? This is the dimension. Okay. Next. Consultation. You got the rubric, right? Sit down. Can I know more details on this? Consultation help. So meeting, engaging someone was saying that. What you were saying just now? Class attendance right after the class finish. 10 minutes with the lecturer will help that. Variable dimension. Just attend the class won't give much. Depends on the depth of the understanding, right? So when you will understand when you're asking question, sometimes in the class you feel shy. I have specific question. Can I know the exact marking of these rubrics? You got more explanation. You know the expectation of the lecturer. Then you'll produce the work to meet that. What they really want, right? Consultation will be held. Okay. So this is how you interconnect between your variables dimension to achieve your DV. Did I use any past research here? All successful people have done this. All people who got 4 flat, they have done this. Logically, we know. Can you see this? So now to prove only, we go for the past research. And you guys are masters level. You can definitely connect the logic out of it. From there, you got some ideas, right? Now you go and confirm through the past research. Okay, in the past research, you can see most of them have done quantitative or qualitative mixed methodology and all this thing. You can get the guidance from there itself. Okay, so this is how we come up with a model because it's simplified with one relevant details included. All that we discussed is not relevant or not. Okay, now you see where past research will give you one information. How many times the causal relationship has been tested? How many times it shows the positive significant or negative significant or inconsistent? That will give you an idea. Should you go with that research or not? Most of the time insignificant. Most of the time negative. Something is wrong here. So it's not the right variable. I want to go and study that. Future direction, future limitation or direction will give you an idea. Okay, so that's how we come up with a model. So this is the model that represent the conceptual framework. You come with the concept first. You take the conceptual framework, then you discuss with the supervisor. Now you see why suddenly she's showing this graph. We are talking about quantitative, right? Okay, now you want more sales. More advertisement is needed, right? The more we advertise, the chances to get more sales is very higher. This logic thing, right? So quantitatively, we can prove this. Y equivalents to B, B0 here, it's the sales, and plus B1X. One single thing is increasing, single percentage is increasing in advertisement will increase the sales. This is the formula. Okay, so for quantitative, we play with numbers. So we require a formula to prove. This is your standard deviation, chrome log alpha value. Everything comes from a formula. It's not a simply, SPSS or PLS is helping you. So they have a formula they need to follow. So whatever data you key in, it will give you the numbers. Data won't lie. But logic of you to have this all correct, it's your duty as a researcher. right? Don't say that, oh, my supervisor never taught me this. No, supervisor have no idea on what you're doing until you clearly speak, right, the choice of the variable, and see, you defense, you argue and all this thing based on, give you a lot of example when we started on the first session, right? Industry expert, you see, clearly see this is the problem, this how to identify, how previous research I have done and all this thing. Okay. Okay, now different type of model. We have iconic, analog, and symbolic models. So iconic is more on physical representations of the model. Okay, iconic models are more like, okay, like let's say, this is a real example from me. I'm from Sunway Business School. Okay, so now Sunway Business School, 3 years back, before our dean, Prof. Mark Lim, joined, we have about less than 100 events. So one of the requirement for us to student to gain more experience is through conducting their own event. So we decided, not I decided, the management decided, let's focus on more on this side because students are really learning when they're doing practical, right? Let's take the exam part of it. Final exam. Between final exam and between going to the ground and doing the things really, where student will learn more. Going to the ground. So event is the base platform. So it's a duty of the university to provide that. Duty of the lecturer, the module leaders, to give more opportunity to have that. So most of the subject has been converted into final exam to final assessment, where we have something for the student to do as in a project, where we scaffold them. It's a 14 weeks, right? So week 1, week 2, they know what to do. So every week they must, like in my class, they must report to me what they're doing. So what I did, I asked them to participate in a competition. Can anyone lie? No one can lie. You're going for a real competition. You need to pitch your innovation idea. Everything is observed, everything is monitored, right? So you must submit your things. Then only we have and we collaborate this with other universities. So you're now the what is that? The weightage has been become heavier, but it's meeting the requirement. We take exam for that, but it's replacing on the right thing, right? So my student, everything submitted. We just never let you submit like that. No, they come to us, we do consultation. They discuss the idea with me. Okay, I say, okay, you can make improvement here, make a better, amend all this thing, then submit for the competition. Now, we need to appreciate at least they took the time and effort to submit, right? That equivalents to for them to sit for an exam, right? Can we credit them for that? Now, more than that, they become a second winner of the pitching innovation. It's between universities of ASEAN. Now, is it carrying a huge impact on the resume? Can you see how we make this one? How we know? Because physicals. They come for the exam. Arif is a great example. 12 years back, I did my thesis master. I forgot already because they just studying for the exam. But when you're practically doing this, you will be just talking about that during your interview section with your HR, possible company that you want to be hired, right? Because you know exactly from zero what you did and how you achieve until to become the winner. And it's not it's an ASEAN level of thing, you know. So chances for them to get the job is very high. To be sought in this one. Okay, there you go. Okay, so that is physical type of model. We wouldn't know that until we go and do that. It's a physical type of model. I can only prove I got this kind of achievement. And now we can collect data. What is the teaching? What is the key takeaway? What you learn in the whole process? Now it can be replicated through other studies as well, which is relevant. Not everybody can do. Some subject like dry subject, they can't do. They must sit for the exam because this one you must memorize, right? Right, so this one you need to go for exam. Okay, then diagramming. You diagram. When I draw IV1 to this, IV2 to this, you're diagramming that. We see this one, then only we know where to put the dimensions. If it's scattered everywhere, we don't know. So it's diagram the concept. Then we symbolize through mathematical. Some studies is on prediction. Example, now it's 2026. 2036. What is the number of tourists that going to be visit Malaysia? We have no idea. So we need to take data. We can't take data before COVID. Irrelevant ready. So we need to take brand new data from this year, and we predict. That one we use economical model. We come up with the formula first like this, then we fill up the numbers every year, then we can predict something. And we can even predict for 2046. Hopefully, no any disasters to happen. Because I'm from tourism industry, we have this understanding, belief system before COVID. Oh, tourism is a sunrise industry. Interrelated. Transportation needs. We are dependent on transportation, all infrastructure, everything until COVID hits. Right? So again, it become unpredictable. So we can predict something like this. It's very important because that talks about revenue, data for the country. Because tourism used to be second most contributor income for Malaysia. That's why throughout the world here only we have tourism ministry. Okay. So quantitative methods are principally concerned with symbolic methods, very much mathematical. Okay, that's why we start with reliability tests, whether your data is reliable or not. We validate the data before you even go before data collection. Okay. Okay, how you develop a model? You have a mathematical model, a set of mathematical relationship. Here, as an academia who is a master's development for sustainable, you don't need to think about mathematical model. You think about logic. We already proved some example just now during the discussion. So you think about the logic makes sense or not. Past research makes sense or not. Do I have a sample or not for me to scaffold? Think like that. In a way, mathematical is already proven because if they have done quantitative. If not, they won't keep on getting the same results, right? Okay, then models generally contains variables and parameter. I told you, right? Okay, what kind of variable that I discussed with you so far? Independent variable, dependent variable. Okay, can I add something? Okay. Okay. I just start. We have independent variable. Independent variables means factors or predictors. Dependent variable is what you want to study. DV is only one. DV is only one. IV for quantitative must have 3 and above. 3 enough. Don't go above to 3, 5 and all this thing because you'll get more and more and things to solve. 3 and above. 2 is not enough. Okay. Now, in between of this IV and DV, you got mediator. Mediator, the function between IV and DV, right? Okay. Okay, we go to the same thing we did just now. You want 4 flat. CGP, right? Okay. First thing, time management, more hours of study, attendance, some more, Consultation is a dimension. I'll come to that. Time management, attendance. Okay, let me stop at 3. Okay, so more hours, what do you want to study? Revision, past, lecture, activity and all this thing, right? Time management, it's attendance is on consultation. Time management, struggling between your work, mock exams, discipline. No matter what, 1 hour I'm going to do this. Okay, so discipline. You have a plan, you put a plan, okay, every week I must do this, okay, on time submission and all this thing, but you follow your time. So that's more discipline, right? Discipline is little worse, you can break it down. Okay, now you see. This one for Mariam and yeah. Can you take just a picture and share with them? Can, right? Yeah. So this is IV1, IV2, IV3. Independent variable contributing to this. This is your dependent variable. Very good. So then can record this or attach. I don't know how to do that. Oh. Okay, can we just take this photo and attach together there? I don't know how to write here. Wait. Okay. Oh, can you open? Because I touched with this, I need to draw this. Or can I open a whiteboard? Yeah.
Can you draw here?
It's little funny. Okay, I'm gonna try. Yeah, because in my laptop I can use my stylus. Yeah, it's okay here. Okay, let me try my level best. But just now I can draw. How did I? Can I use this? Yes. Okay. Let me delete all these things. Okay, you can get this idea, right? Okay, we go one by one. Okay, your first IV is hours. More hours. Okay. Second, time management. Okay. Time management. Third is attendance. Okay. Now, this is your IV 1, IV 2, IV 3. So all leading to DV. What is DV? For flat. Correct? Okay, the dimension is, I put a different color. More hours, revision. Okay, revision. Next, time management, discipline. Okay, timetable. Okay, you follow your timetable. But the idea comes from the discipline, because discipline is still general. Time table, you have a schedule. Okay, then next is attendance, consultation. Consultation. Okay, so all these 3 things. Now I have a question to you. IV and DV. You're clear about IV and DV? No question, right? In between, we have variable called mediator and moderator. So this is your IV1, IV2, IV3, DV. DV only one variable. PhD also one variable only, cannot have more because you want to solve one problem only. Okay, now between this, you have another two more variable I want to teach you is mediator, which is MV class. And moderator, MO, we have moderator. This one, if you need this in your master's thesis, you decide. Okay, what is the function of mediator? Mediator's function either to see whether the relationship is enhanced with the presence of that. Example, you got more hours, more time management, more attendance and everything, all good. But there is no moral support from family. Family is giving money, everything, but they're not there when you are, when you need help, emotional support. So mediator here, emotional support from family. If there is emotional support from family, it can enhance the relationship, right? You agree, right? We can make that as a mediator. Okay, so I put a different color now. Emotional support. This is my MV. So MV is in between. Moderator more towards age, gender. Okay. The more elderly you are getting, you want to study, chances to get forfeit is higher or lower? Lower. Because tendency for people to be more forgetful, timing, commitments, family, many things. So age, gender, geography, all is the moderator factors.
That means the mediator will increase and enhance.
The reason why we are putting it as a mediator, the mediator must help to enhance the relationship.
The moderator will increase.
Moderator don't have function, but moderator specifically want to see anything related with, if you want to, your scope. You want to see the age, gender, geography, more those kind of elements. So this one you decide. You want it or don't want it. Any question?
This is kind of a classification, like the.
Because most of you don't have this one, right? Is this the first time you're listening to mediator, moderator, or you know, but you don't know exactly where to put it? I can feel that. That's why I'm teaching this. That's why it's not in the slide. Okay. Okay, let's take a 5 minutes break. Thank you. Okay, online class, 5 minutes break. Thank you. Thank you, dear. Mariam and Najiba, are you there? Mariam and Najiba? Yes, okay. Can follow? Any question? All good? Can follow? I know you're there, but can you follow or not? Silent. They'll be coming to the class, right? Oh, no, they'll be coming to the class, prof. Najiba and Mariam, any questions? Okay. Maybe. Yeah. Check the chat box. Any question? Okay, let me know. Huh? Okay. Okay, now. Okay, this is a maybe a little bit of eye opener for you. You don't have this. You tell me how to do the study. Quantitative, including qualitative. You don't have a direction. So the challenge is to have this. That's why don't start to write without these first. Get everything correct because these can be validated and all this. Then you go. And I doesn't mean like, don't write anything. You have something, but don't start to write extensively before you have this, because the skeleton logically it must be correct. Okay, past research must prove this, your significant this one, and choice of the dimensions, choice of the variables must be correct as well. So this is more important. Why? Because it's categorized into deterministic model. Determine, right? We can solve these three. This is the factor. I can solve this. If this, I can identify the determine, right? Together with that, you have mediator, you have moderator, and all this thing. Makes sense, right? Now that is what you get your masters. Right or not? You're proving a model can be tested in the market, in the industry. Many people don't understand this. Right? That's why you're awarded with your masters. Okay? So deterministic model where some other people, they take your same model, they replicate, they can solve the problem because methodologically it's proven, theoretically it's proven, practically it's proven, they got an impact. Okay, that's what we call it's a deterministic model. So all of the value used in the model are known with complete certainty. What's complete certainty here means? Data. Correct. Because you have tested it. You got the findings, which the Cronbach alpha value is proving. Reliable, validated by industry, validated by academia. Got the point? Okay, then probabilistic, more exploratory. I don't know. I got 20 variables. We need to group this. Again, you need SPSS or PLS to group it, right? Or AMOS, because it's a theory based. So values use the model estimated based on the probabilities. Again, you need a model. You can't sit down and talk to me for 1 hour. I don't know what you're talking, but you give me 1 minute with your model. Then I can tell you a lot of story. Exactly the question you asked. Can you give me this one? There are thousands of variables there. There are thousands of models there. There are 2,000 management theories there. Which one you want to choose? So you decided what you want. Sit down with your supervisor, your potential supervisor, and discuss. Makes sense, right? Save everybody's time, effort, and energy. It will like make your supervisor's life more easier. Okay, and you also have direction. Okay, after that, don't be adamant. Listen to your supervisor. Okay, you want second opinion, you can go to the industry and all this thing, like other academia and all this thing. But don't be adamant. I don't listen because you yet to prove that is a model that can this one until you correct it, because supervisors can see some foresee some problems. Okay, so that's why we have probabilistic and deterministic model, because risk of quantitative, including qualitative, also same thing. Only the methodology more in interview, more in understanding on the emotional factor and all this thing. Quantitative, it's more like bigger scale, bigger samples, those kind of things. Okay, remember I gave you a task before you go for a lunch. Okay, have you thought about that? Start with log. Number of data for quantitative, number of data for qualitative.
testing. Yeah, so if I have to do qualitative, I will interview 15 professionals.
16 professionals,
15, yeah, 15.
15 professionals, okay.
But if it was quantitative, which probably not gonna do it, maybe like a survey of, I guess, 200.
200, okay. 150 to 16 works good. 150, 60, no need to go up to 200. 100 in TVD. If you're going for 200, better.
I mean, send it 200, then there you get it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You always need to send 20, 30 extra. I'm going to discuss about that actually. So at the end of the day, you're getting like somewhere 150, 160 is good enough. Ready? 16 interviews is good enough also. Okay, next. Wendy.
I think for my approach, I'd also maybe consult roughly be 16 professionals.
16 professionals.
But it also depends because from the research that I want to conduct, not every person would be doing the same thing. So it could vary from maybe, let's see, from the US perspective via like the project manager's perspective or the architects or the engineers.
Mm,
It could change.
okay. So 16, no need to come from the same decision managers. You can divide this one. Okay. Now you're getting more wiser. Okay.
For the questions, I would say roughly about the number you just mentioned, but at the same
Not
time,
for the question.
no,
Quantitative.
yes, sorry, the quantity would be the serving. Can I circle back with on that because I feel like the professional information that I'd acquire would also maybe help me get a better understanding of how I'd approach the portion of it. Because right now I feel like I'd be not doing it from perspective of the information that I've acquired.
No worries. Okay. Thank you so much, Wendy.
So mine or my field would be about a range of policy measures around ASEAN. So if that were to be qualitative, I'd look at industry professionals. Not sure what exact amount I'd seen with Luca, so that 15 or 20, but it'd be a bit hard because I need to get a lot of this. I need to vary by I first have to do it by region, so it have to be each, but also be by sector, so I get opinions on maybe one sector feels more policy well, another sector feels maybe I'd have to cut down a little bit from 15 to less, but increase the range of sectors, also to accommodate for the amount of countries if it's ASEAN. Quantitative, I'm not.
It's okay. No worries. Yeah. Okay. But you bring a very important point for discussion. Now, let's say you want to collect the data across countries. More challenging, right? You can keep 50 Malaysia, 50 Indonesia, 50 Thailand, 50 Philippines. How normally I work is I'm a part of Southeast Asia Research Academy. So remember the setting thing, we get a collaborator. Hey, I need help on this. We're going to do this. Is this your research interest? If your research interest, come to the board, welcome, and then you collect data. Help us to collect because the research question has been set. Right or not? And then when we have limitation, example, population in Indonesia, it's more. Right? So now we must get more data from Indonesia, right? Then we set that in the scope. Because we must follow the thumb rule of the quantitative. Population and sample, right? So we said that, we speak it clear. So if Malaysia is 50, Indonesia must be 100. Because of the population. Right? You play like that. Singapore can be lesser. Okay, maybe you can have a thought on that. Okay, this is quantitative theory. Okay, but really, to connect your research, you need to sit down and talk to me. Then we can see how it's making the sample size, how you're determining the sample size. Okay, thank you so much, Mansi.
Bit difficult for me. Qualitative will be much less. Five
5 for the whole thesis.
interviews.
5 interviews for whole thesis. Whole thesis 5 interviews enough. Assignment pun tak cukup. If whole thesis you want to do qualitative, 40 to 60. Depends again on your topic. Okay, in your case, when I'm thinking about ESG, people who involve, and you can break it into category. People who really go to the ground, the exec, junior exec, executive manager, or the decision maker, or everybody in the team of the ESG. Little challenging because depends. I told you, right? 85% of Malaysia SMEs is SME. They don't have department of talking about this one. Except MNCs, yes, they do. Now we need to take all the conglomerates MNC. Are they agree? So must approach through PR first and then get in touch with this. But mostly they will be agree because they want them to be also to be counted, right? And they know they want people to see them because they got this whole department. That is already one contribution they're doing. So they can put that in their own, this one we have been included in a study, those kind of thing. It's a CSR things as well. Sorry, ESG thing as well. Okay, because one of the indicator is like collaboration between academias, higher education institutes like that. So numbers, but 5 obviously not enough. Because when you're doing comparison of this much of MNC, is there potential of good? So you must go at least 50 to 60% of that minimum for masters. PhD, of course, the expectation would be more higher. If mixed method can have a mixed method 5, it's very little. Somewhere within 10, but you have about 120 to 150 quantitative. Can bring, I'm about to say that when I'm concluding this answer, because you must have an idea, right? At 10, but you cannot be very ambitious. 50 qualitative or 200 quantitative. Can you finish on time and all? That is my exact purpose asking you this question. So you have an idea, the numbers that you need to work, because you got a time limitation and you got no money. You want to take out all the money from your own pocket? Don't do that. Okay, utilize the opportunity of technology, Zoom meetings, those kind of things, meeting these people. 50 people, too much. If you just want to do qualitative, 50 to 60 is apt. You can come up with thematic analysis, those kind of things. This one you learn from Dr. Sally, right? Can focus more on that. Last, Aisha.
Haven't.
When you want to decide? Like how long? New. When? This is your first week. Block on first. Number of class? I already tell you, right? Start to ponder about this. Because the more timing you're taking in all this thing, if now you're starting this is what we call groundwork. You have an idea of this. So what you do when after this, when you're meeting any industry people, can be my potential. But without having a topic, meeting even the potential, you won't realize what is happening. Right or not? Some of you in a very early, like Aisha, some of you meet ready. Some of you already doing this in your job. And now you need to narrow down who I need to interview and all this thing because my topic is related to this. Because you see, he highlighted the very important concept just now. lock. Why? He said, I need all this thing. When I started data collection, all these people must give me appointment and all. Yeah, so you must start to build the relationship and all this thing. For that, you must know who are you going to interview. Right. You must have an idea of this. Suddenly go and approach. Definitely they won't entertain you much because they don't know who are you. You already build the relationship, then they know they can, okay, I will help you. Because do they really need to come and give you the data? Be very thankful for your respondent. They no need to do that. They're already doing you a favor. So it's you who the one need to build the relationship. So already you want to go with the mixed methodology, prepare this in your mindset. Okay, and have a lot of people. So someone seriously can't make it, they were like, actively traveling and all this thing, you have a backup plan. Okay, isn't of presented the number just now, right? No, okay, last one, sorry. Arif done, okay. Then I'm not asking Najiba and Mariam, I want to know the number as well.
Testing. So earlier on I shared I wanted to do something that company they already have a plan to do that. So I know that so after attending today lecture, I think I'm going to use mixed method. The quanti part, I already know there's a fixed 10 sites that I'm going to collect testing. So on the quali, so just now you mentioned about what is our other competitor is doing. So because of the sensitivity, I'm not going to approach the competitor directly, but indirectly I can approach my contractor who is also doing the same job for other competitor. So for contractor, there's not many that can do this type of job. So perhaps for the quali part, we'll be interviewing 2 or 3 of the contractor who is also doing the same scope for other competitor. That's my
See, you never ponder about this, you won't get this. And she already dropped the qualitative earlier. Now she say, hey, potential is there. Someone can help me to bridge to get the data. That's why I ask you, don't wait until the lecturer make the announcement, the administrative department make the announcement. You need to start your RP1, RP2 and all this thing. That time where to find people?
Yeah, I can understand that because when I start a year ago, I also no idea exactly that. So this is my last 3-4 subjects. So when I go through that, then
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you now itself. Start to think about this because you need to start to do this one day. And it's like a huge part of your this one, right? So start to think from now. So you can see, this is my prospect for respondent later. That is the reason. It's not like I ask you to start now itself. So you can build relationship. There's so many things that happen. Najiba and Mariam. Najiba and Mariam.
Yes, Prof.
Yeah. Do you have any idea about the numbers that you need to interview? Okay, first of all, you want to go with quantitative, qualitative, or mixed methodology?
Mixed method.
Mixed methodology mean? Okay, never mind. If you want to go with mixed methodology, please have an idea. You know how many numbers that you want. So that numbers will determine what is the preparation you need to do. Especially you're going for qualitative. Because qualitative, you're going to interview people. They must give you their time. Okay, so please think about that from now on. Okay, yeah. Yes, Arif.
Can I share my
Yes, yes.
thing is I'm gonna follow the mixed method, that's for sure. So my focus topic would be on cross-border human trafficking. That is what I'm most passionate about in between Bangladesh and Malaysia. So for that, for interview, I would definitely do, for example, 100. I mean, what would be the required one? I don't know the exact amount.
First of all, you want to do 100 for quantitative.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's
Who you want to interview?
Workers, Bangladeshi workers who are working in Malaysia.
Huh?
There are lots of migration as well.
Uh, uh,
Bangladesh.
uh.
So I want to explore that area.
Okay. Do you think they will give the right data?
Hopefully.
Do you know the number of now your chapter one coming in? What is the population of Malaysia? Google. You all can Google population of Malaysia. 30 million. 30 million. Please check. 16 million. That's why I ask you to Google. See, you always use AI when the lecturer asks don't use. Now I ask you to Google, you don't want to do, and you're guessing. Sorry, 34 million. This is this year or last year? Last year. 2025. Okay. Do you know that number of illegal immigrants in Malaysia?
From Bangladesh or the overall?
Overall. Almost 3 to 4 million. How we know this? Illegal. How we know this? With the impact of economic that Malaysian facing, with the impact of economic, we can see when my daughter is sitting there in a school, thank God, her school, no, they don't open much. Certain schools, we know how many illegal students. Because once the mother give birth here, automatically they will get the citizenship. It's this one, the country law goes like that. But their parents are illegal immigrant. Do you know that? But we can't send them back because the mother was give birth here. So many cases like this. Not only Bangladesh, Myanmar. Because Malaysia is Islamic country, so it's like very easy for them to enter here using the UNCHR. That's why so in your this one, I wonder if that covers the illegal one, how truthful they can be to your interview. So that's why qualitative is required. Okay, this is just little data. I'm no one from government or agency, whatever. I just read this and I know about this issue. Rohingya, because we know how we are fighting for a normal survival, and our vegetable industry has been taken by them. Most of the things that Malaysians used to do, it's like that's why you can see more Malaysians doing gig economic, grab drivers, those kind of things, because we lost to all this thing. Okay, security, safety and security, those kind of things. Okay, so be wise in choosing your respondent, because all this thing will reflect it in the chapter 4 later. Yeah, again, I'm not scaring you. You can take up the topic which is very, very heavy and different, but be selective in choosing your respondent. This is why I want you to ponder about the number. So you won't be ended up interviewing the illegal one. So what are the requirement? What is the qualifying question for them to answer you? There is a lot of expatriates also here. There is a lot of business people also, Bangladesh, expatriates, all this thing here. So you can see which group you want to interview. Okay.
So
Yes, please.
I was thinking back of my mind that I should sit with a potential supervisor. I mean, in that case, like this is what I'm thinking, that what I want to do, whether it is feasible in terms of the weeks that I have submit my research. So yeah, that's
One of the issue why I'm highlighting this, how I come across this, it's really a huge issue. I bought a landed property in Seremban. This is not in Selangor, KL. It's another state called Negeri Sembilan. So I bought a property. So it's investment, right? So I want to rent it out. The new rule of Majlis Perbandaran, authorities, local council of, Seremban said, I can't rent it to the expatriates. I'm like, why? The this one, the criteria must be, they must be stayed here, they must be married, and they must have a proper professional job. I'm like, where to search for this kind of tenant? And then I ask them why you have, there is lot of issue, these people rent it, never pay, lot of crime cases, those kind of thing, because this like out of Klang Valley circuit, right? So I don't want to talk more about this lah. So they make it, if there is no place to stay officially, and when someone rent it, do you think every day I'll go and visit what they're doing? No, right? So to me, I'm a normal, landlord. Just pay me money, right? So we don't know what is happening, and they might be doing illegal issues. So that state government, they stop this. So that is the severe of the cases that happening. So they go to this level, definitely a lot of issue behind, right? So we go deeper into the problem, So okay, the data speaks until they make it a state policy. Until we give a space, right? Then only they got a space and to become illegal, correct? Not illegal means what? They're hiding. They need a space for hide, right? So they stopped it. And this actually happening from, I don't know about other states. I come across this issue that time. So please do your background check of the study, okay? And don't be too ambitious, because you must be finishing the study. This is like, I'm not warning or whatever, I'm really telling you, because I used to be ambitious. I know that we can't do that, because we got a lot of things to do. Okay, be very specific in your research question, limit the numbers and all. You can continue this to your PhD later, and that is okay. But for masters, don't be too ambitious. Okay, PhD, yes, you need to be ambitious. Okay. Okay. Then you understand deterministic and probabilistic, the differentiation. Okay. Okay. So when you develop a model, you see the forecast, regression analysis, you want to choose linear regression, optimizing the model. You want to use what kind of, this thing. That's why you need to know a number. Without number, like my friend supply chain, right? I told you. Okay, then statistic hypothesis testing, decision analysis, how it's influenced the diagram, the decision tree, and analytic hierarchy process. You need to follow the research process. Okay, so you'll determine on all this. So when you're getting data, always follow this. Okay, you get the garbage in, you get all the data. Fine. You process the data, you garbage out. This is your secondary data. You can go to Department of Statistic Malaysia. There is a lot of data there. You can see. You can have a picture. Okay, I see tourist number and all this thing. If crude oil price. So you can got a lot of data there. So you see, and then you can select, is this a real problem I want to study? Is that bad? It's timely important. Okay. Source of the data is very important. Remember, I was talking about QS papers, Scopus 1 papers and all this thing. So make it valid. Don't simply take data from anywhere. Okay, Department of Statistics, ministerial level data. Okay, if marketing, more this one, Deloitte, McKinsey reports, okay, which is validated. Okay. Okay, data may come from a variety of sources like company reports, documents, employee interviews, direct measurement, and statistics sampling. All this you can and you must do your study first before you go to your past research. Those who come late and all this thing, please check with your friends. Okay. Okay. In here, actually, in quantitative, you must know this. How are you going to collect your data, presenting your data, and describing your data? That is quantitative is all about. Okay. Okay. Now, all the data will give you a findings. So that findings will help you to solve the problem. The problem that you started. Why I put equation there? Because we started with the quantitative. Right. Okay. Then we have trial and error. Your trial and error is your reliability. You were given an opportunity to conduct your pilot tests. Utilize, because you can see which reliable is scoring below than 0.7. So you can remove it, replace it, restudy, amend. You can do so many things. If you're not doing that, you're carrying it on, definitely it will reflect in your final result. Okay, so quantitative. Okay. So you do this and complete the possibility values. Okay, you know, quantitative already set this value 0.7 to 0.8. Okay, and 0.9 is very good. That is already set by your past research. So they already got the variable, they already got the dimension. Just follow the highest. That's why I suggested to you Scopus 1 papers. Take your variable, take your items from Elsevier, Emerald, Wiley, Taylor and Francis, like that. Why you're picking a lower journals? Correct or not? Okay, so be mindful on this. Okay, then using an algorithm because this one you no need to use, but you refer to what past research has been done. What methodology they've used. Or you can see that they use 150, 180, 190. This one you can play along the number or whom they interview. That's why you must know the research exactly how they conducted. Okay, that one you need to sit down and read. That's why you glance through 20 papers first. Which 5 that you want to pick for your own study? To be very close to your heart, so you can read that paper. And you won't be wasting your time reading the wrong papers. So that will give you the algorithm, okay? Testing the solution. Okay, now, testing the solution is actually your past research already help you to do most of the work. And then you must read this particular, part on future direction. Limitation and future direction. Limitation, not only about time, money. It's beyond that. I plan 60 people to be interviewed. End of the day, I can interview 30 people. Please explain why the 30 people is missing. That will give a direction how they can prepare from earlier. Now, can you see why I'm asking you to have that number in mind? And then, choice of the variable and all this thing. In the reliability test, they throw some variable out. Why? Maybe they never do pre-testing. You wouldn't know until you read the paper. Okay, so go for that. So new data can be collected to test the model, one common method of the model validation. So you see a pattern in the past research. Now you know what kind of latest variable to bring into your framework. That is where novelty is happening. What is the niche of your study? You can proudly say, this is my niche of the study. Past research, many of them, they didn't include this, I include. But with a justification and how you defend that point, okay? And then results should be logical, consistent, and represent the real situation. Suddenly you won't create anything because we go to the past year study, everything is there. It must be consistent with the past research. Okay, even though we are facing this Iran war now, it has been repeated in economic crisis or not. 1997, Malaysia faced the same thing. Back in 1987, 1988, we had the Iran war, right? It's a repetitive. Somehow we'll have some reference. What's so more with, past research in academia? You just click in Google, we can get everything. Okay? Google Scholar, I mean. Okay. When you're analyzing the result, this is chapter 4 and discussion chapter 5. You must be implementing the result as required to change in the organization. You must say not only reporting the result. How if the organization looking at this number, what kind of strategy they must think to change? Beside lecturing, I'm a global digital talent from Alibaba. I'm a consultant. I consult SMEs to change their mindset. Please invest a little bit of money in digital platform. You can get more profit and you can run this parallel with your brick and mortar. First of all, to educate them. First of all, to get them aware. You can earn a lot of money there. Oh, is it? Educate them how to do this. What kind of social media you need to invest? What kind of other tools in digital marketing can invest? Get them ready and all this thing. Prepare and working with them will require more time. Now, the moment they started to see the profit, then only they believe. Because they always say, I don't have money. Government give me money. You don't have a knowledge, you don't know how to do that. How come government will give you money? Now you prove little bit. Now you're putting a grant and asking for, more funding. Possible to get, right? This is one of my scope to work with them on digital transformation. Can you see how I can do that without implementing a result? You must show a little bit of result. All the way, never use digital platform. Now I'm using, I can see 10% of increase in my profit. Then only can require certain funding, right? This is how we are helping to scaffold the SMEs. Okay? And the impact of action in changes need to be studied and understood before implementing. How we are doing this, we scaffold between industry, SME, and Sunway University Business School. We get them, attend the workshop here in Sunway University, give them food, that industry that engage them, the financial, bodies like corporate government, CGC. Corporate guarantees this one, they provide the funding for them, they bring the SMEs. Okay, you learn from this in this university, okay, where you want to implement in your own business. Tell them, tell us. Collaboration. Can you see? Is this research? Is this research? Yes, action research. We need to series of workshop to see how they're making progress, then we report. Okay, not purely academic, cannot, because they never speak academic language. We teaching theory in the classroom. We're teaching to the student who paid to get a degree. But these people are struggling in the real industry without a scaffolding because they never had a degree before. Okay? Okay, sensitive analysis determine how much the result will change the model input and data. This one, sensitive model should be very thoroughly tested. Like this is sensitive. Sometimes they will think, like, oh, what do you get? Say, I'm helping your business because I get this one, because I'm a business lecturer. I think I want to share my knowledge to you and you're making profit. Okay, good. Am I getting money? No. The money go to the university. I got my KPI. So we work like that. So university also this one, because they also want to scaffold only to the student, because student is their, this one, the market, because the university. But who's helping people out there? They might be, have the open-minded to come and, learn something. Or micro-credential, can we ask them to study degree now? But they will go to micro-credential and learn something. How to do a video in for digital marketing, how to do video for Facebook, how to do video for TikTok, they will learn. We can run courses for them. They get a certificate, but we call this micro-credential program. Can you see that? So it's sensitive, but workable. Sometimes the idea is like very new and all this thing. Is it good to have it here? Yes, it's a client value. Most of them are doing the business around here. Potential. Okay. Okay, implementing the result, we see it can be very difficult. People may be resistant, but many quantitative analysis effort have been failed because of a good workable solution was not properly implemented. You know where this reflecting in chapter 5? Remember, I taught you about theoretical contribution, methodological contribution, practical contribution. Most of the student won't think about that. You will be very much narrowed down to academic. Practically, managers out there must know how to implement your result. That's why you started with the industry talk first, industry discussion word. Right, when you're discussing the real problem, then you need to go, remember, it started because of this. So you do write a lot of practical this one. That give you a very high weightage for your thesis now. Practically, a lot of manager can be benefited from your thesis. So it's just not merely about academic thesis where sit in the library. Who will read? Who will read? You never wrote the motivation book, right? Who will read your thesis? You tell me. Now someone is quoting your point, or you yourself quoting, okay, this is what I found in my own study, very relevant to practical industry for this. Not only this industry, other industry also, this one are managers. Now you're doing like, a talk for them. Oh, can I read your thesis right now? They will like ask. So for that, you must like write at least 20 points for practical because you're a master student. That's why I say don't be very ambitious in solving a lot of problem. 3 research questions. Now you are clearly writing how to solve the problem. You'll be more focused. Your answer will be very, really, truly. That's why. If you're taking more, you'll be hurry-burry, want to submit. You won't fulfill to answer all this thing. Academic also, you can't contribute much. Why you're talking about practical? Little bit of shift because you all are going to give solution for the practical to the industry. You're solving industry problem. Okay. So You have a modification necessary. Now, before you even write your thesis, you already got the findings right. Again, sit with the same person that you sit for chapter 1. Sir, this is the findings that I got from a thesis. Can I sit down with you? Go one by one with the findings. They will tell you, yes, you are right. Why? Because this one, that part, no any past research academic can fulfill. Only industry people know why. You include that. That's simple actually. It's not difficult to do. Why? I done that. My findings, I sit down with the industry people again. I ask them to review my paper. I say, would you available for my review of the finding? They say yes. I set an appointment. I meet them in person. About 20 findings. One by one, the person give me this one. He already passed away. Okay? And he was a tourism director in France, in India. Amount of that experience they have promoting tourism in other countries? A lot, right? Who am I? PhD student that time. So, until Penang state government was asking, can we get a copy of your thesis? Practical. Practical contribution is very, very important. Then your thesis got value, very easy to publish. You can even break that, this one for publication, okay? So this is very necessary and you can modify it. After that, you want to modify, can. Because remember, you got 3 research questions, right? Just publish one by one as an article. Who will scold you? No one. Very narrow down. You got a lot of data, right? You just like be very choosy right now. I just want to talk about this. Okay. Okay, modeling the real world. So quantitative analysis models are used to extensively by the real organization to solve the real problem. Can you connect to me right now? It's very practical. So the real world quantitative analysis model can be complex, expensive, and difficult to sell. Example, what she want to do. If she go and approach the boss, boss, I want to do this. Can you spare about, 5,000 ringgit from for grant money? You think boss will give? Tweak it little bit. Going to get our contractor to do this to find out the competitor's strategy. Boss will give 10,000. Right or not? Now you got money to work, right? You never think about the number. You will even sit down. So you want to write a proposal, you sit down with me. I'll help you how to write the proposal. Don't ask AI. AI, you can ask about other proposal, but academical proposal, don't ask AI because every proposal template is different. All depends on your focus, your motivation, and with whom you want to send that. Okay. Okay, then because you're solving the complex, expensive, how easy to get data from competitor? Impossible. Okay. But certain words in academia can help this. And are we disturbing other people's rice bowl? No. We want to know the strategy along the line. And academia will predict what could be the next strategy. Academia can suggest using the technology, those kind of things as well. Okay. So following the steps and process and important on the component of success. Why I'm talking all this to you, research has take a different dimension right now. It's no longer an academic thesis alone. And you must have that, skill to pitch your idea, to go for next level for publication, those kind of things. Okay, and you're talking about sustainability. It's a huge, huge thing. Everybody is looking at it. Okay, so you need to pitch your idea for the component of the success. Okay, it's not cannot be just academical, this one. Okay, now collecting this back, problem, model, data, solution, testing the solution, analyzing the result, and implementing the result. So you can connect to your chapter 1. Chapter 1 is what? Introduction. Chapter 2, literature review. Chapter 3, methodology. Chapter 4, results. Chapter 5, discussion. Your thesis got 6 chapter or 5 chapter? Okay, check. This one. Some will have six step chapter discussion and conclusion. Some will like this one. Okay. So I normally tell to my student, make it 5 enough. Okay. So a mathematical model for profit says profit equivalents to revenue minus expenses. Right? Okay. Revenue and expenses can be expressed in different way. Let's say a company is investing for the staff to develop their skill. It's expenses or revenue? Expenses. Expenses. Aishu. Company is investing on the staff to go for a training, whatever, to develop their skills. Expenses or revenue? Capital means revenue, lah. Yeah. Why? The staff become more smarter. They will contribute back to whom? So it's not expenses. Actually, it's a revenue in future. Okay. Provided the company is smart enough to put the bonding with the staff. Right or not? Okay. So you become boss, you know what to do. So revenue actually means fixed cost plus variable cost. Right? So that is profit. So what is profit? Profit is selling price per unit, number of units sold, minus fixed cost, variable cost per unit, number of it. This is an example only. Whatever you want to do, you need to take behind. You can't ask me the question because I don't know, all of our industry is different. But we all connected to sustainability. Okay? Very simple. This is sustainable or not? Steel. This one is sustainable. This is sustainable or not? No. Let's say this cost me 100 ringgit. But I'm very reluctant to think. Mineral water only 1 ringgit. Some like 80 cents. Why I need to invest in 100 ringgit? If I lost this, that's it. Right or not? If I'm thinking like that, I don't want to invest. Am I a sustainable person? No, right? Okay, now, same thing here. This is a small packaging from the huge biscuit and all this thing, right? Now, this company, they want to do a sustainable packaging. Sustainable packaging will be more costly for them. FMCG and all this thing, like, but they can't increase the price to 20 ringgit per this one. People won't buy. Very costly for them. Can you see this? Two different. So this business will always exist there. It's from company called Applus. This one from Munchie. But Munchie is doing their contribution. Check Google. Every packaging that we buy, certain amount will go to some orphanage home, something like that. I'm not sure. But they're doing something on the CSR platform. So somehow, I told you, right? Everybody is connected to sustainable. This is through their product. This is through their social contribution. Okay, so sustainable, we can play around somehow. But you must know the costing because many people will stop because of the costing. So how to educate and bring the awareness to the company? Thank God, most of the companies are aware, including the SMEs. Nowadays, SMEs are starting the packaging with very sustainable way, right? Right. And people also like very much want to support this local business, those kind of things. Can. Okay. This is like very much, what is that algorithm and all this thing? I don't want to discuss much. Okay. So this is the example that I told you about this. So you want to present a pitch, your idea and all this thing. If let's say related to sustainable, you can play along this kind of formula to pitch and see how they can save money when they're being most sustainable. Okay, because the trend says that, the reports and all says that people want more sustainable because we want to protect the earth. And we are against of using unsustainable approach. I don't know why you're smiling, but behind my back of my mind, I can think about the country's approach. Yeah. I don't know. I think we're very connected. I also think like Bangladesh, how to tell to these people. Right. I told you just now, if you're watching my words, educate and create the awareness first. So the country policy makers must be willing to bring the awareness. I remember I was telling about malicious this one. Only this year they also started about this. Really like penalizing the people who throwing rubbish. But my question 20 years back cannot do. Can, right? 20 years back, everything was sustainable for your kind information. We don't have plastic. I'm very, very sure. I don't know, Prof. You can connect me with me or not. When I was 9 years old, my grandparents used to run a grocery shop. We don't have plastic packaging. Why? We used to make our own glue in the kawa, put uh, the one sort of, flour. I can't remember what is the flour. We mix it and then we have that brown color paper. We pack it small, medium, and large size. We used to do together with my cousin. Seriously, no plastic. I was 9 years old. This happens in a district called Talimung in Pahang. After that, everything is plastic. So our previous people, they are sustainable. So the industry was changed because of plastic. And now we know the amount of problem that created. And talking about plastic, let's talk about smartphone. What impact if it give to us? Are we having enough sleep? Social media is free. Is it really, really free? What is more important, our time or money? Social media is free. Are you sure? It's taking our time. We need to educate people, limit your screen time. Yes.
So I believe one thing that if you don't pay for the product, then you are the product. So for social media,
If it's true, that is a statement. Statement. We can discuss and talk about a lot of problem like this. Parents watching phone most of the time, what is happening to the children? Children watching. It's like a dopamine for children. Simply you just leave the fridge open with all sort of, junk inside. They're taking and taking and taking and taking. The dopamine keep on happening. Swear it is. And I can see my girls. I told them, you enter university. When I got my phone? First phone in my second year of the university, no one will believe. And I'm very thankful for my parents, my father. Even that also, his phone he passed back to me. Very thankful. Educate. Now it's 2026, right? Mark my word. 2050, we won't have this because by that time we have seen enough damage of smartphone to the society. Kids that will be born, you go and check about this research if you got time. Kids will be born, they'll be born with big eyes, longer fingers like that because the mother was using phone. So it's why like change in the genetic. That time the phone will be band ready, but the damage we can't reverse. So if you're educating people, you can check, am I talking frightening you or with the fact? Okay. So if you're educating people with this, they know. At least they will be aware, reduce the screen time. We can't stop anybody from using smartphone. Okay, can't stop anybody, but they can reduce the screen time. Okay. Okay, that's why I'm putting all these formulas for you because for business, we need to talk numbers, profit, okay, and all this thing. Okay, so coming to this one, problems may be easily identified, conflicting of viewpoint, impact, and other departments, beginning of assumption. So many things. We watch a video on this, right? Today, the first session. So problems that it's around us. Don't go far beyond, want to solve so many things. What is happening around us is enough for us to focus. Because data is easily available, you can approach them. Okay? Then you develop the model which fits into the model's theory. We already got a proven theories, right? And understanding the model. You must first of all understand the model because you are the one who are going to explain to your supervisor. Both of you must explain, understand, so you can carry on with this one. It started from that process. You must understand the model. Okay, when I'm explaining you, This model, you understand, right? Why? Because you're a student. Imagine I'm telling this to someone that never know what is education is all about. Do you think they will understand? No, they will think wasting time reading. Right or not? Why? I don't. They couldn't digest the fact. Because all the while they have been spending their time for something else. And they see profit from there. So it's very difficult to talk to that kind of people because they're not synchronizing the logic with us. Can you see? So your logic of model must be synchronizing. Okay. Acquiring accurate input data using accounting data or validate the data. So this one I taught you how to do that correctly with the industry. It's hard to understand mathematics. It's okay. Only answer is the limitation. But logical, don't tell me. Logical, all of us can connect. Okay. So quantitative never comes first. Your logic, the selection of the variables IV must comes first. Okay. Solution is not always this one, how to affect the thought. Okay. Now, I don't know you want to solve what kind of problem, but if you're focusing your problem on the company side, okay, companies or industry is facing this issue. Okay, so you can go with that particular problem and see how it can give an impact later. Okay. Okay, now when you want to solve the real practical problem, you will have lot of limitation because people must agree first of all to share the data with you, right? So you must be really wise in choosing your respondent. Okay, so before you even engage in any idea and all this thing, ensure the people are willing to share the data with you. Okay, I don't have this kind of problem much with my master's or PhD student, but my degree student, I do have that. I'm teaching one course where the student need to do three portfolio really to get this company to do the digital transformation. It's for my digital economic, this one. All three portfolio, it's a different one. One is dealing with the idea, second dealing with more on the readiness, third one is on the implementation. You know what will happen? Second one and third one, the company will disqualify them. I don't want to work with you. Very difficult for my student, you see, because now in the mid of the semester, they need to go and look for a new company and all these things. So I always tell them, don't go to MNC because MNC already got the departments and all this thing. Go for SMEs with the small numbers like 5-10 people, approach them, and then don't promise too big. Just 10% increase in your profit or 5%. Oh, what do you want? Just promise that and get it done. Okay, because they are willing to work with you. So all three portfolio, they are with you to provide the data. Okay, even though it's assignments, like very important. So same goes to your thesis also. Ensure the people is ready to share the data with you. Okay, if not, you don't have enough data, what are you going to do? Extend. Cannot, right? So get this thing right first. Okay. So the support from the management is very important, especially when you're collecting data from the managers, supervisors, decision maker. They will agree. Suddenly they say, I don't want to work with you. So please get your letters and everything correct. Nowadays, how I work until the completion of the project. Okay. And I will tell them what is the benefit. Okay. How I'm going to share the data with them. So normally we'll say that we will do a presentation of the findings. I never promise you anything. We'll do a presentation, doesn't mean I need to give my slides to you because we are yet to publish it. In academia, we cannot publish the name of the company that we call, like, right? Ethics and all this thing. So we'll do a present. Since you share the data with us, we'll do the presentation. So it's give and take. How to work. So that doesn't mean no solution at all. If they refuse, you can tell them. This is how we can collaborate. If they still don't want to work with you, move to their competitors, those kind of things. Okay? But don't talk bad, lah. Okay, then they'll be more interested to know what the discussion happened earlier because you guys are going to solve the real problem of the industry, you see. Okay, analyzing should focus more on the problem and care about the solution. So problem is always there and keep on will happening, right? But you focus how to give the solution for them. So you discuss more on business strategy, implementation of the sustainable elements, those kind of things. Okay. Analysts should work with the users and take their feelings into account. That's why mixed methodology is very important. We got two people to this one. You can't take the data from this one. Kind of, we look biased end of the day. So mix one from the management side, one for consumer as an example, makes sense. Then we can see where is the gap is really happening and you get more things to discuss. Okay.